Bears fans, this is your 60-second countdown.
Have some of that.
Oh, went left, then went right.
Launched into the gap.
A chance and taken. Down the ground again.
Gone.
Straight down the ground and big enough.
And it has been dispatched.
That'll be 4 more.
Nick and taken.
4 more.
Oh, yes.
Up and over the top. Oh, that's been smoked. Really has been picked up magnificently.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everybody and welcome to Bears TV, another doubleheader in the T20 Blast, live from EdgBLASTon one last time this season here on Bears TV. Thank you so much for joining us. A little bit later on, the men are going to be in action, and we'll tell you all about that later. Right now, the focus is very much on the women playing at home. One last time this season is Warwickshire against Hampshire here at EdgBLASTon. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We're very excited about the game. We'll tell you lots about it, but first, let me tell you about our wonderful team today. I'm your host. My name is Atif Nawaz. To my immediate left, joining us for the first time this season is Regina Sudasai. How are you, Regina?
I'm well, thank you. Very excited to get back into Blast.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's the Blast. We love the Blast. It's one of the best competition in the country. I said it. Here we go. Alongside you, we have the voice of Warwickshire cricket, Adam Bridge. How are you, Bridge?
I'm very good, actually. How are you? No, nice to have you back. We had 2 replacements for you on Sunday. You are so good, we needed double to replace you.
I thought you were going to say I'm that big, but okay. Good to know. Thank you so much, Bridgie. I appreciate that, and I did miss you guys. Of course I did, and I've especially missed our Badger in the Den, our award-winning team member, the one, the only, Aaron Wiles, everybody. How are you, Aaron?
Oh, very, very good, Artif. Thank you for the lovely introduction, as always, and yeah, looking forward to what will undoubtedly be an excellent doubleheader here at EdgBLASTon today.
Well, we're going to really mine Aaron's mind a little bit later and ask him about the permutations for the men, because they, believe it or not, can still qualify for the quarterfinals. We'll tell you all about that later. That'll be a separate stream, but this is the first of our doubleheaders today, and it's the Bears women taking on Hampshire. It's likely to be a very challenging game for the Bears women because, well, we're way down the table in 7th place. Hampshire up top, looking unstoppable. Adam, this is a tough game.
It is. I mean, they've been in a good run, obviously, but then a couple of defeats. I was saying to Aaron the other day on message, it's quite tough when there's only 4 sides you play twice, and we happen to get the Blaze and Surrey as 2 of the teams we were facing twice. And actually, we seemed to bat okay down at down at the Oval, but just didn't bowl well enough, really. And that was the similar story, I think, on Sunday as well. Just didn't really kind of hit the lines and the lengths that we expected. So, I mean, what's interesting to see today, obviously, they've lost the toss and chosen to bat. Katie George captain in the side today in the absence of Georgia, and quite a few changes to the lineup as well, including a debut for Sophie Beach, who's going to keep wicket today, which is quite interesting. Just signed her pro-term contract and straight into the heat of battle. And boy, is it hot out there.
It's very, very hot out there. I mean, it's a dead rubber of sorts. I mean, there's not a lot on the line other than pride for the Bears here, but they've attempted to take a look at some different talent, try out a different captain. We're not, completely sure if Georgia's picked up an injury or what have you. We don't know the specifics on that just yet. But, an opportunity for Katie to demonstrate her leadership, but also an opportunity for young Beach to show off what she can do. Regina.
No, I think it's really good to see a lot of youth in that Warwickshire team. They have a lot of young players that have taken the reins. I mean, you have players like Mary Taylor, who has time and time of experience, but leading that on, and I think the next generation comes through really, really well with Warwickshire cricket. It's good to see people like Phoebe Brett as well also playing and continuing a good streak of good form. Yeah,
it is very exciting. It's a good thing. I was watching them on a different service on Wednesday because that was the only way to watch them, and it must have been a very demoralising loss. Although when it comes to Hampshire, we've been talking about how great they've been this season. Aaron, just before the broadcast, you were telling me that actually Hampshire, great as they may be this season, are not so great when it comes to playing the Bears. Is that right?
Well, it is. However, I think it's very, very important to preface this by saying it's an incredibly small sample size. So, last season, these two teams met in 2 encounters, one at the Utility Bowl, one right here at EdgBLASTon, and the Bears won both, funnily enough, defending on both occasions as well.
Wow. Well, that's quite impressive, actually, isn't it, when you think about it? They were quite tight games. If 14 runs and 16 runs, I think?
16 and 13. 16
and 13. That's pretty close. Pretty close. I should have done better considering I just found out 15 minutes ago. But the pressure's off, isn't it? Really, because they can't qualify, but they want to put on a good show. They want to finish their season strong. They've got an opportunity where it's almost like a free hit because all the pressure's on Hampshire. Well, I mean, they're at the top of the table, but the expectations of Hampshire, they've got a chance on their home ground to really leave a memorable performance behind.
They have. The top 3 teams have already qualified, so obviously there's one more place up for grabs which the Bears can't quite manage. So yeah, for Hampshire it's a bit of free hit as well, just that dominant position at the top of the table as where things stand. As for the Bears, look, it's been a tough season. I think there's no arguments about that. A lot of changes at the start. I bumped into Caris on the way in today, and I said, this must be, your second home game you've played in this competition, because you keep getting dragged off to play for England A and to be cover for the ODI side. So, in that respect, the injury to Davina that we've seen and that's kept her out a lot of the time, it's been a changed team. It's not been settled. Meg Austin's injury now as well. So it's been tough.
Yeah.
They didn't have these kind of issues last year, missing Emma Arlott for as long as they did because of injury too. They've not had a chance, I would argue, to put their best 11 out. And that is always going to be a problem. It's been a problem for a lot of teams, sides because of the Women's World Cup as well, obviously. But it's a chance today, like you say, for some of these youngsters, for the Phoebe Bretts, for the Sophie Beaches, see what Katie's like at captain in the side. Georgia opening up with her, Georgia Redmayne today as well. We saw Caris in great form the other day down at Surrey, turning those balls into full tosses and absolutely hammering them. She did correct me today. I said, are you waiting for some more full tosses? She went, I'm waiting to turn some more of them into full tosses. I was like, oh, okay, I stand corrected. I've been told off.
She had her dancing shoes on at the Oval. We can say that for sure.
And listen, take the pitch out of the equation. It's always a good way to do it.
I mean, it's been working out in the Test match from what I gather as well. That's happening today. But it has been a busy summer for women's cricket, maybe the busiest ever actually here in England, Regina. And this is obviously, it's a good thing, obviously, that platform exists. We've got the Women's T20 World Cup, and we've got the first women's Test match at Lord's, and so many opportunities. But equally, it is a drain on the counties because, as Adam's saying, you can't field your first 11. You have to come up with backup plans and a backup for your backup plan. Some counties have been impacted more than others, but there's also the England A tours and the other things where you think, well, the counties could really have benefited from so-and-so player being released for this game or what have you. I think it's a problem right now, but long-term this is a good thing because it broadens the talent pool, surely, right?
100%. And if you see the little girls who are watching in the stand, especially the first half of the World Cup where, EdgBLASTon, of course, was a venue, it encourages more and more girls to know that they can come to a professional ground and watch the women play, and I think hopefully that will inspire that younger generation to get into county systems quicker and at least know that it's accessible to everyone, not just during a World Cup or during an England international game.
It also sort of motivates the counties to broaden their talent
For
pool.
sure.
So we need to be able to field a couple of teams. We need more people. It's something that's likely to become a regular challenge, it feels like, Adam. I mean, I think, and I would say that's a good thing. I really do think. I mean, obviously, it's frustrating right now, and there's instances where you think things could have been done more efficiently. Like obviously, just one example, Davina Perrin not being available to the Bears most of the season, came in, hit a 50, disappeared again. It's really frustrating as the team management when you're trying to organise something, but it's a challenge that you have to get used to, I feel like, in the modern game.
It is, and the more successful you are, the more of a problem it is. So it's twofold, isn't it? Because you want the Bears to be successful. You want them, part of the role that Warwickshire sees itself as having is to produce cricketers for its country. That's simple. Yeah. End of story. You suck up the fact that Jacob Bethel's not going to basically play for you all summer on the basis that he's performing for England. So if you talk to Stuart, the chief exec here, that's what we'll say to you. Our job is to create cricketers who can play for that country. End of story.
Yeah, you have to do that and be financially self-sustaining as well.
And that too, and win games of cricket on the county level, and all the rest of it.
You got a few masters to serve, a few plates to spin. Anyway, speaking of spinning plates, let's have a little look at the conditions out there today, because it has been hot recently across the country, and EdgBLASTon has not been immune. Let's take a look at this surface now here today. We'll look at it in just a second, but the hot sun has been baking the surface, as we saw this in some of the men's T20s, where England soundly beat India recently a couple of times. There's so much bounce in the surface as well, and it's got to be the sun, right? It's got to be the sun that's making these surfaces into trampolines. I mean, you've had a look at it a little bit closer than me, Adam. What do you make of it?
Well, firstly, I'm surprised it's taken you 10 minutes to make reference to England beating India. It literally may have taken about 30 seconds from meeting up with you today.
If they can beat Norway tomorrow, I'll talk about it even faster.
Look, the surface, again, it's a hybrid. This is not a used one. We obviously have 3 uses out the other pitch, so this is a fresh one for use today. It's slightly darker tinge to it as well, and also the positioning on the square quite interesting today, because as we look out, obviously a long way over towards the left, away from the Holly stand, giving us a very short boundary on that leg side, particularly if you're batting obviously this pavilion end, and quite a wide one on this side. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out, targeting who they bowl from which end, and all those kind of things will come into it today, which actually is going to make it quite an interesting task for Katie George, obviously captain in the side today in the absence of Georgia Davis. She'll have some interesting calls to make as to how she balances those bowlers. There's a lot of bowlers in the team as well.
Well, you mentioned the team. Let's hear the team. Adam's got the team for us. Adam, read us through the Warwickshire women's team. Aaron, I beg your pardon.
Aaron?
Aaron. Yeah. Adam's got it too, but let's have Aaron as well. I've got my choice of him.
No, that's perfectly fine. So, of course, opening the batting, as Adam did mention beforehand, we'll be the captain for today, Katie George, alongside Georgia Redmayne. Then there's Amu Suryankumar, Sophie Beach, the young wicketkeeper batter, making her debut. She's carded in at number 4. Then you've got the 2 all-rounders, Caris Pavley and Chloe Brewer, with England international Emma Arlett, Mary Taylor, Millie Taylor, Hannah Baker, and fellow spinner Phoebe Brett. So that is your Bears 11 for today.
It's a very exciting team. I can see Amu Suryankumar over there. Got a little bit of tap with the ball the other day at the Oval, but she's put in some very memorable performances this season for sure. Tell me a little bit about Sophie Beach, because I've not seen an enormous amount of her, Aaron.
Yeah, so I can tell you plenty about Sophie. So I covered her last season in Tier 2. So previously she was playing for Worcestershire. She's actually a product, though, of Staffordshire. So I'll give a shout out nice and early. We'll do it again later to Little Stoke Cricket Club, which is where she started out. And of course, since then, has been a consistent member of the Warwickshire Academy, playing alongside the likes of Phoebe Brett. We saw Bryony Gilgrass here the other day playing for Essex. So this is a massive, massive moment for her. And as Adam mentioned beforehand, she's just signed her first professional contract with the club. So really, really happy to see Sophie today. Very innovative batter, likes the ramp and the scoop as well. So yeah, excited to see what she can do.
Yeah, most certainly. What an exciting moment it must be in a player's life, signing your first professional contract and things like that. It's very. I signed a contract recently as well, but that was just to have an air conditioner put in. Wasn't very exciting, but it has. It has
a bit late as well.
I know they're very expensive now as well, I have to say, but it's okay. Very necessary as things get hotter. And
there's 8 potential bowlers there for the Bears today.
For the Bears
which,
in that lineup.
Talk about options. So you just wonder if some of them will purely be playing as batters. Amu, I'm guessing, is going to come in a little bit higher up the batting order probably today. It just shows they've got strength. There's a lot of all-rounders in that side. There's a lot of very good bowlers. There's a lot of very good batters. Nat Ray today obviously not playing, Abby not playing. So there's some of the people they've really relied on, particularly Abby, who still sits second in the list of run scorers. In the Vitality Blast, which is just fantastic.
It's extraordinary. Just a little mention of Hampshire as well, because obviously they've got some superstar players. And my very good friend Amanda Jade Wellington is going to be lining up for them today, so it'll be very good to see her in action. But who else should we be looking out for in that side? Who's been their top performer this season, Aaron?
Well, just to go through the team first and foremost, it'll be Ella McCacken and the captain George Adams. At number 3 will be Abby Norgrove. At number 4, she is one of my selections for today, is Francesca Sweet, a really explosive, dynamic hitter in the middle order. Then you've got Reece Southby, you've got Nancy Harmon, Naomi Datani, of course your friend Artif, Amanda Jade Wellington, Poppy Tullock, Daisy Gibb and Bex Tyson. And Regina, we were speaking prior to the broadcast, the fact that you've grown up playing alongside most of these players. I've mentioned there Francesca Sweet. Who else would you say could play a key role?
Probably maybe looking at Daisy Gibb. We saw her in the last game. I mean, she came out last ball of the innings and smacked a 6 over after suffering a bit of a finger injury, and I think she's been a really key character for Hampshire this year, especially with Lauren Bell playing international cricket. I think the Hampshire squad, all in all, they have a lot of youth, and with that youth actually also comes experience. So it's good to see people like Francesca Sweet getting a chance and actually playing and progressing through the ranks. I mean, she was only playing Tier 3 cricket pretty much last year until she was playing a bit for Leicestershire as well, and so it's good to see her doing well, and I think definitely in T20 Blast she's been a vital part of this Hampshire campaign.
I get the feeling she played for Leicestershire this year. Is that right?
She has done. She's
been
dual
registered.
Yeah, of course, yes, of course. Dual registered players, yeah, of course. It's a very unusual system, isn't it? But it'll get more and more sophisticated as time goes on. We see Georgia Redmayne taking a knee, probably honouring a hero, Colin Kaepernick, I reckon. It's just one for the AFL fans. By the way, if anybody else, if you're with us on the stream today, please do remember to give us a like. Let us know where you're joining us from. Drop us a few comments and let us know if you're enjoying the match and what you expect to see, what you'd like to see. And also, because it's the last women's match stream we're going to be doing this season, tell us your favourite moments of the season, your players of the season. Let's get some awards in the comments. Who do you think was the best batter, best bowler, best performer, best all-rounder, best catch, best moment? Put all the bests in there. It'll be lovely to see some of those, and we'll read out some of our favourites a little bit later on as well. So we're just waiting for the players to come on. Just caught a little glimpse of I think it was Carmen Bear who's out there. They've split the no, Carmen's there, Hugh's there as well. Hugh and Carmen, both the Bears are out there. That's not the umpires that you can see on screen at the moment, I should point out there, but that's not their names. No, there they are, the Bears, of course. There we go, getting ready, keeping entertained the few that have walked in. It's very, very hot outside at the moment, so we're not expecting an enormous amount of people today, but at the same time, those that come will be looking forward to seeing a good day's action. The two umpires I should point out, Anthony Harris and Sam Hollingshead, who we just saw a few moments ago, and there's some flag waving people as well, which is nice. It's nice to get an opportunity to wave flags during this T20 World Cup. Like that was one of the big highlights, wasn't it, in the Women's World Cup? People getting sourced to do some flag waving. Did you get to do any flag waving, Regina?
Oh, I wish. I was on flag watch instead, trying to make sure we had the big flags, but no, unfortunately didn't get a chance. But it seemed like some pretty serious candidates actually from the flag bearing, so I heard.
Well, it started very soon, and then towards the end I felt like the flags got bigger, so they needed more people. Felt like there were more and more people, and I think that was India's last game against Australia at Lords, where they were more than necessary. I'm gonna say there were a lot of people about there. Right, we can see the Warwickshire openers just on the edge there. Georgia Redmayne and Katie there, the acting captain today, Katie George. I mean, what's going through her mind, Adam? I mean, what's she thinking about right now? Leading the side, been put into bat, lost the toss, been put into bat by a side that's been dominant in this tournament this season. What's her aim right now, do you think?
Well, I think if you're leading a side for the first time, you just want to do it I guess, in your style and your mode and just get a positive result. And she's got a chance to lead from the front, hasn't she?
Yeah.
In sense of opening the batting, she's had a terrific 50-over campaign so far this season. Came into the Blast side a little bit later, has not really fired on all cylinders, but we've seen a few moments where she's kind of just found her range. So I think personally she'll want to finish the campaign over these next 2 games with scoring some significant runs. But as captain today, I think she'll just want to set a really good example. And with no Abby out there, I mean, it's quite interesting because obviously, as we know, Abby kind of sets the tone and gets them off to a flying start. Georgia, during her time, has been more considered. Eventually, the last few innings, she's been scoring around the kind of 120, 130 mark. Run a ball prior to that. So Katie needs to kind of set the tone, I think.
She does, and we'll wait and see how they get along. I'm also going to put everybody on a construction site watch today because it is a very short boundary out towards what is initially at least going to be the covers, but eventually will become the leg side when the bowlers bowl from the Birmingham end. It's a tiny boundary. I feel like a lot of balls are going to go into that construction site today, maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. A little prediction from you, Adam, just before I let you take over.
As to what, how many balls are going in
the
there?
site? Yeah,
well, I'm a bit concerned.
Give me a number.
They appear to have packed up. There was one man there, I noticed.
I
think we'll probably end up with 7 in there today.
Ooh, as many as 7.
Yeah, I think that boundary is really short.
Yeah. What do you think, Regina?
Ooh, I think I'm going to be a bit maybe less optimistic. I think we're going to have a couple more along the grounds. I'm going to go 4.
4. Okay. But this is over the course of the whole day, right?
Oh, the whole day?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go over 10. I'm going to go double digits, maybe 11.
Okay, 11. I'm going to go 15. Anyway, Regina, we'll let you take a little break for now. Regina Sudhazai, who's going to be part of our commentary team today. Naomi Datani's got the ball in her hand, and here's Adam Bridge.
Thank you very much, Artif, from the Birmingham end, opening up immediately to Georgia Redmayne, who's taken strike, and that short boundary is almost found. In fact, the ball was travelling so slowly they've managed to cut that off, and they'll just get 2 to start us off. And Redmayne is off the mark.
I'm really impressed they've managed to get 2 to that short boundary. I remember watching some games of County Championship at Lords earlier this season where they use pitches right on the edge of the square, so you only get a single or a dot ball for a perfectly played square cut to the fielder.
I think it was the fact that she didn't really hit that with any great power or gusto. She's hit that a lot better, and that one does go straight to the rope, despite the fact that there is a fielder out there lurking in the form of Nancy Harmon. And it's the first boundary for Georgia Redmayne. And there was I saying, she's ticked along quite quietly. She's off to a lightning start.
Well, but playing 2 very sort of correct shots. There's nothing sloggy about these shots at all. Just controlling that. The movement from Ditani just going away from the left-hander, which is a really good area to score in. Just got to beat that fielder. Those 2 fielders in the covers. And you got lots of runs there for the taking.
She was obviously our guest on Sunday. I like to think that the words of wisdom I passed on have maybe had an impact in her powerful opening here.
What'd you say?
Not much, really. I just told her how great she was. And she was fantastic. Aaron, wasn't she a fantastic guest?
Positive reinforcement is very... Just ask Brendan McCullum.
She was a great guest, wasn't she?
Fantastic. Great insight. So too was Ethan Bamber as well.
He was. I think he wants to come back at some point, Ethan. He loved it that much. Very self-deprecating is our Ethan. Here's Tatani then. 4th ball. Onto the pads. Turn around the corner. Just for 1. And it's a leg by.
That's better line. That one just... You want to be a bit straighter when you're defending that boundary to the left-hander. To the right-hander, it's... now you do want to find that length outside the off stump. You don't want to leave anything that's short of a length like the batters, especially a batter of the quality of Katie George is going to try and pull across the line. Naomi Datani, so much experience.
I'm assuming with Hampshire doing as well that Datani's bowled fairly well for them through this campaign. A little nod of approval from the den. It's a quick single. Well, if it was a direct hit, we may have seen Katie George in some trouble, but she's off the mark, the skipper.
Yeah, so 8 wickets so far this season for Datani, and I always look at economy rate, 7.3, especially for someone who does bowl in the power play. I think that's really, really good stuff.
Not as good as Jofra Archer's last night, but it's good stuff nonetheless.
Did you do quite well yesterday? I don't know.
Didn't
catch the game.
Last ball of the over from Datani. And Redmayne down the ground. Doesn't quite beat the fielder. Just a single, but it's a healthy first over for the Bears. 9 without loss at the end of it. Georgia Redmayne with 7 of those. Katie George captained the side on 1. So the Hawks, I'm guessing, just looking at the table, obviously they've been fairly dominant, as we said. It's interesting, those top 3 tier and Blaze, the ones who are potentially in danger when it comes to 4th spot for qualification.
Yeah, which, to be honest, I think the Blaze probably have suffered the most as a result of the World Cup, haven't they? You think of the Bryce sisters, Kirsty Gordon being away with Scotland. Of course, they're England internationals as well. So maybe that has played a part and parcel in it. But yeah, they've got a little bit of a scrap heading into not only today, but of course Sunday as well.
Well, the Hawks, I wouldn't say they were a surprise packet because they had their moments last season, didn't they? But surprising to see them at the top of the table, I think, probably more than anything.
Well, they finished 6th last season, so it has been a really, really strong turnaround. But I think even last season, a lot of people thought they underperformed, given the sheer amount of strength and depth in the side. I mean, they're captained wonderfully by Georgia Adams. So, yeah, it's been, I'd say, a really, really promising turnaround.
Here's Daisy Gibb to open things up from the pavilion end for the Hampshire Hawks. Just waited on by Georgia Redmayne.
She's found a nice shape straight away as Daisy Gibb there. Just a little bit of movement in the air. Just enough to just put a little bit of doubt in the batter's mind when they want to advance.
Quite like the fact the Bears have made changes today and just allowed others to maybe have that first experience. Obviously Phoebe's been travelling around with them throughout the campaign. Georgia using her feet. Well bowled by Daisy Gibb.
Yeah, just moved nicely off the surface there. Just getting a nice bit of movement in the air, but also off the surface, and she's found a very good area here, Daisy Gibb. And I agree with you, Adam, by the way. Like, I think it is important, especially, you know, when you can afford to now experiment, look at different combinations, different roles for different players. You have to do that. You're not going to get much sort of, you know, elite match practice of these scenarios. So it's something to take from a game like this.
Bit of shape again. Ends up being a bit wide. There's a little bit of movement there. Wicket looks a little bit like it's got a bit more grass on it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, probably about 7 millimetres, I'm going to say.
You are an expert on the millimeterage of grass, I know.
Well, like when it looks very, very light grey, then at that point you're thinking it's sort of the 3s and the 4s, and when it's sort of greenish, then you're looking it's in double digits, you know, 10 plus. So I'm going to split the difference, say 7.
Daisy Gibb with a very big bandage on the little finger on her left hand. Bit of shape again, but short. Pulled away very nicely by Georgia Redmayne, and that boundary very accessible for the left-hander when anything's bowled short.
Yeah, we talked about this already. You can't drop short, even if you're bowling outside the off stump to the left-hander, because it's just such a wide open area and it's such a short boundary. Don't even have to have perfect connection. It was a pretty good connection on that occasion from Georgia Redmayne, but even if she mistimed it, that ball would have gone to the boundary. It was always a losing battle for Naomi Datani, who gave chase there. You have to be right on your length there.
Lovely shot. It's 4 more for Georgia Redmayne. Very nicely timed.
Yeah,
to the ball.
Just overcorrecting on that occasion was Daisy Gibb, but she went too short with the previous one, too full with this one. And even if the ball's shaping away, a quality batter like Georgia Redmayne's not going to miss out. It's a hard volley outside off, easy pickings. And she's under a bit of pressure here, Daisy Gibb, the youngster. She hit a nice area with the first couple of balls, and now after back-to-back boundaries, she's going to be feeling the butterflies, I reckon.
18 without loss. Couple of balls to go in this second over. This prompts a change in the field. The fielder going out onto the cover boundary. And coming in from third inside the circle. Overcorrects again, really, onto the pad, since 1 more to the total. So this wicket is probably, what, about 35 yards away from the one we've been playing on? You can see how different bits of the square actually perform, isn't it?
Yeah, it's, you know, you'd think that they're all the same, but they're obviously not because of the way that they're sort of placed. And, you know, EdgBLASTon has so many wickets on the square. I think it's, is it 16 pitches in the middle? I think, something like that.
Well, you could sit and count them.
I'm pretty sure it's 16. Well, they sort of the ones on the end sort of fade away, don't they? They can't tell.
They do. We had some ridiculous bounces off them on Sunday, actually, because they've been used for bowlers' warm-ups and stuff, and the balls were hitting and just literally tennis ball bouncing in the air over fielders' heads. It was quite extraordinary, really. One to come in this second over, 19 on the board, and Katie George is beaten outside the off stump. That completes 2 overs then. 19 without loss, the majority of those runs to the Australian and our good friend Georgia Redmayne.
Yeah, she's batted really well so far. Georgia Redmayne has been a concerted effort from her as well to up her strike rate, as we've noted in the last few games. You've seen that effort for her to improve her scoring rate, but today with that shorter boundary there and also a lack of protection, at least early doors, for the opening bowlers either side of the square, she's managed to exploit that really well. Although I do like this from the captain of she's given 2 deep fielders. She's going straight to Bex Tyson. Spin into the attack, 3rd over.
It is Tyson who's coming on. Turned into the leg sides. They've run the first quickly, but it will just be a single. 1 more to the total for Georgia Redmayne. Yeah, it's interesting. We did obviously question Georgia about how she'd settled in. And she said it's kind of the relentless nature of cricket here, because you're travelling a lot, you're playing a lot. Not like it is in Australia, where there's a lot of practice and not a lot of cricket, a kind of alternative.
It's all sort of bunched together in Australia, isn't it? With the WNCL and then the WBBL. They sort of happen back to back in Australia, so that a lot of the cricket's bunched together. I suppose the idea is that Australian cricketers are so in demand, it frees them up to travel around the world, come play here in the English summer, get involved, those who can, in the things like the WPL, the WCPL. Shot.
Well met by Katie George. She has a little moment with her studs, I think. Must have did a roly-poly then. It's a lovely 4 though, nice shot. Gets her first boundary of the innings.
Yeah, she waited on that really well, because it was a really slow delivery from Tyson. Just held it back. It was always going to be full and in that driving area. Cleared her front foot and just got it away, and got a little bit of a tangle, as you say, as well. But she's getting in on this as well. Not had a lot of the strike yet as George, but she's trying to follow in the same suit as a captain and opening partner. Sorry, I beg your pardon, opening partner. Not captain. She's the captain.
24 without loss. 3 balls to come in the over. Onto the back foot this time. It's 1 more to the total.
I do respect Georgia Adams' game here, where she's, the captain, where she's decided to just, protect the bowlers a little bit. Don't force another over on the youngster in particular. And, Ditani's been around a long time, but Daisy Gibb, you don't want it to be demoralised.
Just working Tyson here. Having got that boundary, they've already taken 7 from the first 5 balls.
Yeah, going along really well. It's been a good start from this new opening combination for the Bears.
The boundary here would make it a very good over. It won't be a boundary, it will be 1 more to the total. 8 from it then, 3 overs gone. Score moves to 27 without loss. Not an explosive start, but a very good start for the Bears from their first 3 overs. And having a bowl, well, it looks like we're going to get more spin as well from this pavilion end. And it's going to be Georgia Adams who's going to bring herself on.
Yeah, captain taking the responsibility, maybe thinking spin's the way to go. And you sort of understand that. There was a boundary in the previous over from Tyson, but you know, that was off of really poor delivery, so
Adams is in.
That's really tidy stuff, actually, just knowing exactly where a deep field is. She's got a long on and a deep mid wicket for the right-hander. For the left-hander, I'll tell you in a second because she's just resetting. There's a deep mid wicket, and I think long on is back. Yeah, long on and deep mid wicket in position. So you get the impression it's going to be pretty straight, firing it in full and fast and towards the pads of Redmayne.
Indeed it is. Turn around the corner for one.
And this is going to be a bit of cardio for these Hampshire fielders in the sunshine. They're going to have to run back and forth with this left-right combination.
Yeah, it's a bit warm out there today, for sure. Oh, Katie George just chops onto her toes. Just waited for Georgia Adams.
Well, she's always trying to get her to play through the covers. All the fielders inside the circle in the covers. Nobody protecting that short boundary.
Again, not what she intended, but she'll get one.
It's really clever stuff, this, from Georgia Adams. Again, just playing with the expectations and having a completely different game plan for both batters and executing it so well at the moment is the Hampshire captain. Georgia Redmayne, look to break the shackles there if she can.
Good over so far, and a very good fifth delivery from Georgia Adams. Ooh, a few more workmen have appeared. It must have been lunchtime. Quite sensibly wearing their hard hats with that short boundary today. One more to the total. Really good over from Georgia Adams. She's 4 from it in total. Moves the Bears on to 31 without loss from 4 overs. In terms of looking at power play numbers, well, just remind us where we're at average-wise at the moment.
Yeah, so the average this season is 56 for 1. Unfortunately, it has been trending downwards, though. So earlier on in the campaign, we saw 58 for 1 in the Somerset game, 69 without loss against the Blaze, 65 without loss against Surrey. The last two, 51 for 3 against Essex, 39 for 1 against Yorkshire. So, I mean, they look well set to surpass probably at least 50 from now. 10 run over, 9 run over gets you up to that half century. But, yeah, they'll be looking around about 55, 56.
Daisy Gibbs back, but she's having a go from the Birmingham end this time. Well, Georgia Redmayne had come so far down, then she almost got run out.
Well, she's definitely got a game plan of dancing down the track to the seamers. But you just think, well, you know, you've got short boundaries to play with here, either side of the square. And I know she's a very correct player, as Georgia Redmayne likes to play down the ground in the V, but equally, you might have better scoring options with the dimensions being what they are today.
It's going to be a wide. It's one more to the total.
That's a wild one from Gibb there, isn't it? The first one, really good stuff, bang on the money. The next one, just sliding down. You can forgive these players a little lack of execution every now and again. It's tough conditions to play cricket in. It's about as tough as it gets in England. Last few days, I think we broke the record recently in the country, didn't we, for most 34+ degree days in a year.
I think it's day 9 today, if it happens today. Going to grab a quick single. Also, days like today, you don't want to be bowling extra deliveries, do you? So why do you want to keep them to a bare minimum?
Let's see what you did there. Very good.
33 without loss.
Thanks for joining us here on Bears TV, everybody. He said bit. Okay, never mind. Just got a groan from Aaron. Yeah, I might have earned that one.
I think you probably got a groan from the thousands of people that are watching on the stream as well.
There's a groan emoji nowadays as well, isn't there? Yeah.
Picked off the stumps by Katie George. Well run again. Pick up one more.
I'm curious to see more of Katie George on strike as well, because she sort of had less of it so far and hasn't found the boundary as often as Redmayne. She's played a nice shot, but other than that, I haven't had a chance to see her play a shot in anger just yet. I'm curious to see how she, as captain, approaches this this sort of top end of the innings. It's really good bowling.
Thought about coming for the second, but again, it's just one more to the total. It's going to be a couple of overs since you've had a boundary, isn't it? Just starting to tot up. We'll do a dot ball count after the power play, of course, see how many dot balls, because very often gives us an indication of where the innings is travelling to, although I think the conversation we had with George the other day, there's also this balance now, isn't there, between dot balls and how many boundaries you hit, which can actually be more of an important factor. A couple of steps from Katie George to meet that, and just a single again.
I remember Joss Butler gave an interview a few years ago when he was out playing the IPL, where he talked about, I really don't bother with dot ball, like, it doesn't bother me at all. I can play 10, 15 dot balls and I'm always 2 shots away from recovering it. Of course, the issue is not everybody is Joss Butler and can recover it in a couple of balls, so you don't want to build that amount of pressure on yourself. So important to rotate the strike and punish the bad balls and find the boundary as often as you possibly can, particularly in the power play.
Dot ball to finish from Gibb. Much better over, really. Just the 5 from it in total. 36 without loss then from 5 overs, and all of a sudden that potential reaching 50 in the power play seems to have drifted away a little. We're going to see more pace out this end again, with Datani returning to bowl a second over to complete the power play.
Yeah, it's just really good captaincy again, isn't it, from George Adams? You can tell it's vastly experienced in that role. Just has a plan to get through a specific number of overs with the bowlers in the power play. Just has to shuffle the jigsaw a little bit, just shuffle the pieces a little bit, but eventually they all go into place. You've got to use all your pieces. So finishing off the power play with Datani after the momentum's been pulled out of the innings a little bit, it does present an opportunity for the Bears to find the boundary again.
Katie George into the leg side. Got plenty of it, but just for one. We never like to see the Bears lose, but when you see Laura Harris batting in the manner that she was, it was quite... I mean, we didn't bowl as well as we should have done, but wow.
15 ball half century?
Just ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. We know what we know. We saw it last season. We know what she can do.
Yeah.
Getting her out first ball here was an absolute gem, but... Well, isn't it? Am I right in thinking, Aaron, from a statistical perspective, once she faces 10 balls, you're in trouble? If you get her out in the first 10, you're okay, but once she's through the first 10, it's an issue. That may be a Mark Butcher made-up statistic that he gave. But
no, it is a strike rate goes above 200. It is staggering, and even that knock the other day at the Oval tied her own record for the fastest half-century in women's T20 cricket. Of course, the other one prior to that being held by former Warwickshire batter Marie Kelly.
Yeah, here. Wasn't it here? Was it here? No, it wasn't here, was it? It's cut away nicely. That's going to be 4 runs. Well, it's been a little while without a boundary, but Georgia Redmayne puts that right. Score moves on to 41.
Yeah, we talked about the opportunity being presented with the extra pace of Datani for boundaries for the Bears, and just a little bit loose outside the off stump. Not terribly offline delivery, but with Redmayne looking to be attacking, there was always an opportunity to score runs there. And just on Laura Harris, that's outstanding. It sounds like a Marvel character, doesn't she? Don't let her face 10 balls. You won't like her when she's faced 10 balls. No.
Very, very destructive batter when she gets going, isn't she?
It's
great catch though by Caris Pavley to get rid of her. Yeah. Absolute belter. Hand on that from Datani. Stops a run.
I mean, imagine how many cricket balls and cricket bats probably those sisters went through when they were growing up, smashing the ball in the back garden. Grace and Laura.
Yeah, very much so. Funny how sisters work, isn't it? I was just chatting about Mary and Millie, the Taylor twins, of course. Only a few minutes between them in terms of birth, but I'm told the impression is that Mary's kind of the mum of the two. Millie likes her baking, though, apparently, which suddenly makes me think, well, why have we not had her up here?
What's going on? We need to pounce on this,
cake
Bridget.
would be good.
We need to pounce on this. We need to plan.
And she's regular art as well, Millie, apparently, too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You had me at cakes.
Yeah.
It's also just annoying, isn't it, when people are just so talented in so many different disciplines.
She is. Terrific bowler, which we'll see later. Off the pads, trying to make use of that short boundary and gone. And Georgia Redmayne's away. Final ball of the power play. Datani strikes. Redmayne's gone for 26. The boundaries are dried up. And the first wicket falls. 41 for 1. And Datani strikes.
That's an outstanding catch from Nancy Harmon in the deep as well, because she was diving in front of her. The ball was just sort of dying in front of her. She had a diving in front is always very difficult, but she threw herself forward, anticipated it perfectly, and it's a tremendous loss for the Bears as well. Georgia Redmayne up top, looking good and timing the ball well. She actually timed that really well as well, and it's kind of unlucky in that instance. The short dimension of the ground didn't really work for her, because that fielder in a sort of normal dimension ground would either be further in or further out, and he'd pick up either a single to a deep backward square leg or get a boundary over square leg. But in that sort of three-quarters position, Nancy Harmon was perfectly placed to take that catch just above the ground. Really, really smart work there. And the Bears, as you say, lose their first wicket right on the last ball of the power play as well. 41 for 1 after 6.
Well, speaking of that power play in question, so it is the Bears' second lowest so far this season. Decent number of boundaries, though. So a quintet of 4, so 5 fours in the boundary so far, but quite a few dot balls. There's been 12 already in the opening 6 overs.
Is that a decent number of boundaries? Because I thought, and this is purely from memory, you've got the numbers in front of you, I thought there was only 1 boundary in the last 3 overs.
That's correct.
So the first 4 came in the... so there was a marked change between those first 3 and the last 3.
Oh, massive change.
In terms of boundaries, because I think 5's not good enough. If you're going to get a 50-60, you need more than 5 boundaries, don't you? Artif, your good friend.
Yes, Amanda Jade Wellington
is into bowl. Tell us how are you good friends?
Well, we bonded actually over a shared
Some
love
glue.
for. We've got a shared love for. We're both Japanophiles, so we love sort of Japanese culture, and we love anime and manga and things like that. And Amanda Jade Wellington actually has her own Pokemon museum in her home.
Wow.
Yeah, she has a Pokemon museum. She has a sort of lots of social media content around anime and manga.
Amu Surenkumar is the new batter who's off the mark.
Really, really fun person to work with. Occasionally we get to work together and hang out. She's very, very talented. Obviously, a great player for Australia. I mean, it speaks to the strength of Australia, where she was kept out of the Australian side currently by a player who herself can't make the Australian first team.
Cut away by Katie George. Not sure that's going to have enough to reach the ropes, is it? Yes, just about. Oh, that was a close run thing. It's just sneaked to the boundary rope down below us for 4. George with another boundary, moving on to 17.
Well, it slowed up so much on the surface that when it hit the rope, it almost didn't go over the rope. It just sort of touched the rope and then just nudged over it. It just, it really, really trickled, but it was one of those that teases the fielder, and it was a good chase given, but a valuable boundary for the Bears who need to up the ante here.
Do you two play that thing where you go around finding Pokemon? Isn't that?
Pokemon Go, no, we didn't play that.
Oh, okay, I was just checking. Oh, that's a good ball. Katie George beating all ends up. Trying to play that aerially through the covers, I think.
So off the top of my head, I could be wrong. I'm sure Aaron can check this for us, perhaps. But she's got 2 very impressive records as Amanda Jade Wellington.
Oh, Slotter's turn there.
So she was the top wicket taker in one of the seasons of the 100 for the women's 100, and she was also, I think, she's the highest wicket taker in the history of the WBBL.
Okay.
I believe those are both true.
Oh, again, sharp turn from Amanda Jade Wellington. 3 dot balls at the end of the over, 6 from it, and a new partnership between Katie George and Amu Surenkumar. 47 for 1 then after 7 overs, and a lot of grip and turn for Jade Wellington.
Yeah, just touching upon that. So overall in the Women's Big Bash, Amanda Jade Wellington is third. So she is Adelaide's all-time leading. That is absolutely bang on. But yeah, Jess Jonathan, who of course we're seeing in this year's T20 Blast for Yorkshire, she has 184 wickets in the WBBL. Then you've got Molly Strano, who's got 172. And then of course it is Wellington herself on 165.
Just one more thing to check then, Aaron. Does she have the best figures in the history of the WBBL?
Yep, 5 for 8.
I knew it was something. 5 for 8, not a bad day's work, that is it.
It about you looking through the whole BBL history book, because there was definitely one record that she held. he knew that. Tyson's back, second over. Tyson looking to maybe provide a knockout blow here.
Well, hey, why does that not get a groan? Why do I get the groans? Why do I get the groans, Aaron? Huh? He's going to be in action later this year. Is it? We're going to get that super fight finally.
I was talking about Mike Tyson. You're talking about Tyson Fury.
Yes, correct. Yeah, he's the
just shows my age that I'm going back to Mike Tyson.
I wasn't going to say.
I was trying to think of where I worked in about biting someone's ear, which he did do, of course, against Evander Holyfield. But
do you know, I remember that well. It's the first boxing match I ever watched. That one, as a kid. And I think after that, my parents decided that we'll let a few years pass before we let him order another one of these on pay-per-view. Do you remember pay-per-view? Is that still a thing? I don't think pay-per-views are a thing anymore.
It's just very expensive now. 49 for 1, cusp of the 50 for the Bears. Suren Kumar is on strike. And they'll take the single that brings up the 50. And it comes off of 46 deliveries.
Yeah, slow going for the Bears really today, especially when we were looking at the first couple of overs. They were going at 10s and we were looking at that short boundary, thought it would be a bigger factor. Hampshire have really turned the screws here on the batters, made scoring very tough.
Straight down the ground. And that's going all the way to the ropes. No, it's been fielded right in front of us. One more to the total.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I mean, you look at the table, obviously. I'm guessing first place fourth. Are they doing a draw, Aaron? Do we know how the top four are playing? Is it first place fourth, second place third, or are they doing a semi-final draw, I wonder? Because I was wondering if there's any benefit, obviously, to Hampshire as that's cut away by Suren Kumar to finishing top, and whether actually they're really going to try and hammer home to finish top of that table ahead of Surrey. And it's 2 to the total for Suren Kumar. And that completes the 8th over. The score's 53 for 1. .53 for 1 then, after 8 overs, and just the 1 over from Amanda Jade Wellington. It's a return at the far end to face Katie George, who cuts that away, and it's 4 runs. 57 for 1, George onto 23, and it's the return of the wicket taker so far, Datani, with a 3rd over.
Yeah, it's a bit of extra pace from Naomi Datani there. And you're always a little bit vulnerable against sort of flashy drives. He was looking to play that in front of square on the offside. Was George, and said got a top edge and managed to get it away. In fact, it was more deliberate than I'm making it sound, to be fair. But she picked out the gap nicely and the ball flew to the boundary. This is an opportunity again for the Bears to up the scoring rate.
Tried to get all of that. I think she had pinpointed which of the construction workers she was aiming for.
Well, there's quite a few of them out there at the moment that make good targets. It's a bit like when you're playing, you go to the driving range and you're playing golf, and you kind of, you see that guy in the buggy that collects all the golf balls, and all of a sudden everybody tries to try and hit their vehicle. They They are slightly targetish.
Oh, that's better. It is, it's beyond and away, and it's 6 runs. That's well caught by Katie George. She got plenty of that. Wasn't too far away from Poppy Tulloch, who was on the boundary rope, but she'll get the 6, and the score moves to 63.
That's terrific contact, that, wasn't it? You could tell because once it bounced beyond the boundary rope, it just took off from the bounce and crashed into that cement block that separates the crowd from the playing area. So ball might have taken a bit of damage from that hit as well.
Datani, how will she respond? That's a quick single. Direct hit could have been a problem, but she got back in time, did Katie George, who moves on to 30. The score 64 for 1. Now, just for clarity, if you notice on our screen it says it's Amanda Jade Wellington, it isn't. It is Datani bowling this, the 9th over. First bowl at Amu Surenkumar for Naomi Datani. So impressive this season as Amu gives herself a little bit of room just for a single. She's on to 6.
Yeah, there's something about Amu Surenkumar, isn't there? This feels like a throwback cricketer in a way. Plays very correctly, lots of high elbows and things like that. Things out of the coaching manuals that you don't see that often these days. You see a lot of inventive stroke play, and you know, I think the more we get to see, we might even see examples of that. But a lot of promise there. It's very pleasing to watch.
She's a very infectious cricketer. That's onto the pads and is going to be dealt with accordingly by Katie George. Very swift hands in turning that one round the corner. She moves on to 34. The score itself moves on to 69 for 1 at the end of the 9th over. That was an expensive over from Datani. 16 off it. I just hope a scorer somewhere doesn't credit it to Wellington.
Yeah,
that would be a bit hard.
Well, she'd be annoyed with that. Well, she doesn't like it when those things happen, and unfortunately they do happen on occasion. Obviously not in the T20, but there we go. We've got our graphics fixed immediately there. 3 overs, 1 for 29 for Datani, but yeah, it was an expensive over, but a really good over from a Bears perspective. Managed to get some scoring going, a few boundaries, and hopefully he'll give them a base from which to build a strong total here. Although Georgia Adams, as she did previously when there was an over with a few boundaries, brought herself back on. Yeah,
and she was very good last time. Just went for 4. Down the ground goes Surenkumar. Doesn't get all of it. And they'll come back for a second, which Katie George is running hell for leather towards the pavilion end to get back. That's well run too.
Yeah, that was a tight 2 really, but they made it look a lot more comfortable than it had any right to be. In fact, Katie George ran so far for running through that second. She's still making her way back. The bowler's ready to bowl, the batter's ready to face, but non-striker was miles back.
Yeah, Amy Tulloch fielded well. Good ball, good response from Georgia Adams. A full shot in part there from Amu Surenkumar. 71 for 1. Down the ground she goes again. This time picks out the fielder excellently. It's a really good catch taken on the boundary ropes. And it's the end of Amu Surenkumar. She's gone for 8. Second wicket down for the Bears, who are 71 for 2. And I think that was Francesca Sweet that took the catch.
Well, we'll confirm momentarily, but yeah, really good piece of bowling from Georgia Adams. Again, just in the previous over that she bowled, she managed to just slow down the scoring after there was a flurry of boundaries, brought herself on again after a flurry of boundaries, and gone one better on this occasion, made herself picked up a wicket for herself. It was indeed Francesca Sweet with a catch down at long on, as we've had confirmation, and Surenkumar will be annoyed with that because she timed that really well, just picked out the fielder at long on. It's an unfortunate moment for a wicket to fall for the Bears as well, because they over before Katie George starting to find some timing. Still plenty of batting to come, of course, for the Bears. And it's going to be Karis Pavey who's going to come in next, and she was superb just a few nights ago at the Oval, so hopefully she can continue that good form.
There was a good partnership going there between Surenkumar and Katie George. It was up to 30 before being broken. And yes, here is Karis Pavey. She was out in the nets earlier. Interesting talking to Georgia Redmayne about that the other day. Doesn't do that. She doesn't need to go and hit balls before she bats, she says. Bit of stretching work. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
No, not a real netter. Her words were, I don't do anything too technical before I go out to bat.
I like that. I like that. I think a lot of sort of club and recreational cricketers love the sound of that. What you want in your recreational team is somebody who doesn't want throwdowns. Because the last thing you want to do on a hot day is like, you just got out, you open the bat, and you got out a second ball, you're miserable, you might have to do a bit of scoring later. Somebody batting at number 4 or 5 says, can you give me a few throwdowns? No.
There's nothing wrong with scoring.
Scoring, yeah, for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't have all the colour pencils.
I don't think you've got the patience either, have you? Would be my other guess.
I don't know. It's very therapeutic, actually.
It is. I used to, when I was little, we used to go down to watch the village cricket. I used to love doing the scoreboard. That was my favourite.
The scoreboard? Oh, did you have one of those clicky things, like the old style
bathrooms? No, lifting the numbers out and hooking them on.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to love that.
The old school, we had my old cricket club, Southampton, down in London. We used to have those old style chain ones, where you pulled a thing, you click it, and then if you went one too far, you had to click it 10 times to get it back around. It was great fun. Great fun.
3 balls to go in this over. Caris Paverley on strike. And as you can probably tell, that came out the middle quite nicely for a defensive shot.
Made a good
sound.
sound.
A sign you're in good nick.
Yeah, good sound, that.
Not quite so much that time. Bottom of the bat.
It's been a terrific couple of overs from Georgia Adams, though, hasn't it? Hampshire captain.
Yeah, they're just starting to get themselves back into a decent run rate here, hadn't they? But Georgia Adams has applied the brakes again. The experience tells they're going to sneak that quick single. Caris is looking for 2, but it's never there. And it's just 1 more to the total then. Completes the 10th over. Are you off?
Yeah, I'm going to make way for Regina Sudazai. And just before I do, I thought I'd point out, nothing's gone in the construction site yet.
No,
this
is true.
Very disappointing.
This is true. Katie George's shot probably was worthy of the construction site, but didn't quite make it. So Caris Paverley and Katie George together. And the score moves to 72 for 2. What have you made of the 10 overs so far?
Well, it was good to see Katie George get into her innings a little bit. It looked like she was just a little bit slow going at a runner ball when she hit 12, but now looking like she's having to anchor the innings. Good to see some explosive batting, especially now in the middle. Needed more than ever. Caris Paverley.
Amanda Jade Wellington is coming back after her initial single over. She got quite a bit of turn as well, didn't she?
Just ensuring that leg side is nice and covered.
I'm going to say, it looks like there's a lot of fielders out, but they are just happen to be right in front of our eyes because both of the fielders behind the wicket are inside the circle. They've run the first quickly, but it will only be a single for Caris Paverley. I wonder how the field will change for the right-hander Katie George.
Just seeing that short boundary protected a little bit. Of course, we've seen her hit a couple runs down that square leg sort of area, ensuring that anything short gets put away.
Still keeping third and fine leg in the circle. Oh, attempted cutaway.
Just not quite got across yet. It's looking quite spread out, just opening up that front leg a little bit.
Are we getting to the realms of top score for Katie George in Blast? Yeah, we are. Okay. Little nod from the Badger in his den. He can supply some information in a moment. They've run the first quickly, yep. And they'll get the second quite comfortably. Score moves on to 75 for 2.
Yeah, so far this season, that has just surpassed her previous best of 34. So for Katie, I mean, she's batted really, really nice today. It's just a case of continuing to set this foundation for the rest of the middle order.
It's 1 ball to the total.
Wellington just really putting it on the spot there, forcing the batsmen to really play on that front foot.
Just 4 from the over so far. Use of the feet from Caris Paverley. She's got the outside edge on that. And it is not quite going to make the rope, so it is, despite the diving effort down there of, I think it was Nancy Harmon. May not have been.
Looks like Bex Tyson.
Yeah, it is Bex Tyson, actually. Yeah, you're right. And I thought they were going to cut that off quite comfortably. It didn't look to be travelling at any great speed, but almost looked like it was gathering speed towards the boundary rope.
Well, best of intentions there by Caris Paverley. Obviously, looking at that V, she's quite strong, coming down the wicket and hitting quite straight, so good to get away with that one.
Here we go, turning the ball into a full toss. We saw that at the Oval. Just gets one for this one, though. And the score moves on to 81 for 2 after 11 overs. We're still seeing a run of dot balls, Aaron, or it's not?
Well, it's interesting you say that because it was quite high in the power play anyway. So there were 12 of the first 36 balls faced. Since then, there's been 10 of the next 30, so it's still a decent amount. The only caveat to that, of course, is we didn't see as many sixes or fours in the power play, did we? So that has also increased the boundary percentage. But yeah, feels like the Bears really do need a couple of big overs just to generate some momentum.
Georgia Adams saw Caris Paverley coming there. We've had 9 fours and 1 6 so far. Not really enough, is it?
No, not at all. Well, definitely not enough for our predictions for the construction site, that's
no,
for sure.
very much so. Georgia Adams, I mean, what can you say about her? Experienced, just bringing herself on into these situations and literally just bringing proceedings almost to a halt.
I mean, she was my first captain down at Sussex, and already the precision and the knowledge she has about the game is so evident when she plays, and she's constantly thinking about different combinations, and it's evident, of course, how she's captured Hampshire to so many wins.
And at this point, are you thinking when you see Georgia Adams as, look, I mean, she's delivered 14 balls so far. She's got 1 for 9. As a batter, are you standing there thinking, if we just milk her for a runner ball and just don't let her do any more damage, then we're happy with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Hampshire still have a bit of a pace attack in Poppy Tulloch as well, still to come. So I think just see Georgia off a little bit and wait for maybe someone to just give you a nice bad ball.
3 singles so far. Paverley up to 9 already. George is on 38. Use of the feet again from Katie George, but only worth a single.
Especially to Katie George, really forcing her to try and play down that leg side and get that single, obviously, to get Caris Paverley on strike. But just forcing her to kind of use that leg side or even try and get through the off stump with a lack of fielders kind of on the boundary there.
There's some very big swings of the bat from both of these two that aren't bringing much reward right now. 86 for 2. Last ball of Adams' third over.
One Taylor McCacken.
One more to the total. Completes 12 overs. 87 for 2.
Exactly a runner. A ball there, I think. Pretty well executed plan from Georgia Adams.
Yeah, I think it would be, wouldn't it? I mean, obviously she bowled those 2 overs for a mere 6 runs, and just to come back into the attack and keep restricting them to a runner ball is perfect. And this is an area of the game that the Bears have had trouble throughout this campaign. Over 7 to 15, they've at times really struggled to score runs. We're going to see Tulloch from the far end.
Yeah, Poppy Tulloch coming into this side, I think paired up with youngster, also Daisy Gibb, has been quite a nice duo added to the Hampshire bowling attack this year.
Good start from Poppy Tulloch. How's the campaign gone for Poppy?
Yeah, so far this season, 9 wickets for Poppy Tulloch. Speaking of leading wicket takers as well, Georgia Adams in this game has just surpassed Charlie Knott. She's got 20 wickets on the campaign.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she has been phenomenal.
Down the ground from Katie, just going to be one. How does that compare with Millie last year? What did Millie get across the competition last year?
22.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an excellent haul, and I'm really glad, Regina, that you mentioned captaincy, because one of my favourite facts about Georgia Adams, during her time at Sussex, she scored a century on her debut as the captain against Yorkshire. That was in 2014, so she's been amazing over the years, an incredibly talented batter, and it almost goes down as one of those individuals who's unfortunate not to have represented England in more international matches.
Full toss. Just the one.
A lot of work for Francesca Sweet out there, targeting that V.
Am I imagining it? We've not had many boundaries in the last 4 or 5 overs. No, I didn't think so. You can tell. 89 for 2. Slower ball. Outside the off stump. We may get that boundary now. And it goes Katie George's way. Slower ball, too much width, and it's well punished.
Yeah, sat really well on that back foot and making sure she stood right side, outside that off stump and good contact from there to sneak past that point fielder.
Katie George on to 45 and in sight of her first Blast 50.
As captain as well.
Maybe she's going to do a Georgia Adams.
That's kept quite low as well, actually.
It's quite a loopy slower ball, wasn't it? I think neither Karis Paverley or Katie George were quite ready. Just see how Poppy Tulloch responds here. That last boundary. Oh, that's a better ball. And that's been taken by Rihanna Southby, probably right on the thumb. However protected your wicketkeeper's gloves are, that's probably quite uncomfortable.
She's been down for quite a little while now. It looks quite a bit of pain, but probably nothing she hasn't dealt with before.
Yeah, I think she's going to have to get some treatment on this. So we'll have a slight delay for a moment. It's Katie George and Karis Paverley have signalled they wouldn't mind a drink as well. While they just check out the fingers of Rihanna Southby here, who looks in a real bit of discomfort there.
We've just seen that ball pop up quite a lot. I mean, especially compared to the last ball. Of course, it's slower, not bouncing as much, but she's done well to get that.
Well, the number of wicketkeepers now that seem to be standing up to quicker bowlers, it's, you know, I wouldn't want to do it. I think if we're going to be brutally honest.
It's almost the Sarah Taylor-esque sort of personas we're starting to see in wicketkeepers, which is quite good to see the inspiration she's brought into the game, making it more of a dynamic position as well, I think.
Some of the bowlers do seem to be quite offended, though, that the wicketkeeper feels that they can stand up to them. And it's a slight on the speed at which they're delivering the ball.
Quite brave as well. We're seeing quite a lot of like batters kind of standing outside their creases now as well, and really charging those fast bowlers, especially ones that are getting a lot of swing early on. So I feel like for a keeper, it's a tough job either way. You're either standing back and, you know, risking that a little bit, or you're stood up and just have to take a bit of the brunt sometimes.
I guess as well as the Blast develops, obviously we're in our kind of second season of this new kind of format, and again that's been increased in terms of number of teams. I'm guessing those kind of things are going to develop and they evolve, aren't they? The approach to the game is probably going to change. I mean, what we've seen a lot of here is the combining of the two teams. It's like after they played on Sunday, the women all hung around and they were going for pizza with the men's team, and that was how they were spending Sunday evening. There seems to be a bit of bonding between those, and I'm guessing then you'll see more sharing of theories, ideas, practices, and all those kind of things.
I mean, we're seeing the women's game develop so much, and it has developed so much over the other years, and I think it's gained a lot of respect from the men for how these women train, and some of these women are absolutely phenomenal and have paved the way for the younger generation to also come through, which are very talented cricketers. So it's good to see how integrated the teams have become, especially with the new tier system and really prioritising the women's game. And the 100, I think, has played a massive part in that, making sure that, the women are being seen. You're seeing a lot of the men stay to watch the women's games as well. And potentially train as well. I mean, I don't know, but a while ago I watched Sophie Eccleston bowl at Lancashire men in the nets, and it shows to you that, they're respecting these cricketers as cricketers. And I think rightly so, we're seeing so many cricketers getting to that level where they can very much compete with men if they were to play in maybe more recreational cricket.
Well, the protein brownies have been consumed by Katie George and Caris Paverley, it would appear. And it looks like Rihanna Southby's okay to continue. I was a bit worried for her for a little bit then. I thought she may have broken something, but...
Nothing a bit of ice spray can't fix.
I don't think it fixes, does it? Doesn't it temporarily relieve? It's more the phrase for a bit of ice spray. Right, we can have that last ball of the 13th over now. It's full, and it'll be a single to Katie George, who moves on to 46. And after 13 overs, the score moves on to 94 for 2. I don't think we're going to see Georgia Adams finish it up here. I think we're going to see Bex Tyson have another bowl. 7 overs to go.
I'm liking this combo, really trying to off-put maybe George a little bit. I mean, she's played a fantastic innings, but this spin-seam combo that's going on here, introducing Poppy Tulloch into the attack.
Yeah, they're not allowing them to settle, are they?
No.
So, Katie George on 46 then, 94 for 2. Here's Tyson. Comes to use her feet. I think Bex Tyson saw her coming. Just one to the total. Real game of cat and mouse. Brings Caris Paverley on to strike. I mean, from here, what are you thinking in terms of totals? This is usually the kind of doubling up point, isn't it? But I can't see them getting to 190, really.
No. Probably looking at that 160 mark at the moment. Caris Paverley probably looking to try and get going a little bit now, especially trying to attack Bex Tyson.
Well, they do have wickets in hand, only 2 down so far. Use to the feet, picks it up nicely down the ground, but it will be fielded and they'll just get a single.
Beautiful contact onto the ball. Caris Paverley, I just love the way she strikes.
Oh, well, she was going to attempt what looked like a slog sweep then, but suddenly Katie George just changed her mind completely.
Well, rather loopy from Bex Tyson. We haven't really seen her kind of bowl a little bit with a bit more air. She's quite darty normally, getting it right into the batter's pads.
There is that sweep. It's only going to be worth 1 though. Looking to try and get the boundary to take her towards her 50. It's been a long time now since the last boundary, hasn't it? Can you find out for me, please?
Oh, I can indeed.
It does feel like it's been a little while. No, there wasn't. There was one off Poppy Tulloch. I'm telling lies. That's down the ground, and that's really nicely hit from Caris Paverley, and that's a 6. It's a lovely shot. She uses her feet so well.
She just hits down the ground so well, and the power that she produces in her bat lift is so brilliant. And we knew that she would probably look to try and attack Bex Tyson now, especially with a couple wickets in hand.
100's up, 103 for 2. Going to come back for a second? No. Well, I thought they could have got back quite comfortably there. That lovely shot again from Caris Paverley. Cleared the ropes with ease. That completes the over. 14 gone, 104 for 2. That second 50 was a little bit quicker.
It was, yep. 37 deliveries it's taken the Bears. Well, I suppose in comparison to the previous one, which took 46 deliveries, they brought up the 50 within 7.4. So there is definitely a bit of a shift. They're beginning to get those boundaries with a lot more consistency, and we haven't seen as many dot balls in the past 2 to 3 overs. So, yeah, it's all about how they finish from here, though. And of course, you've got 2 overs from Wellington. There's also that 4th and final one from the Hampshire captain, Georgia Adams, who has been nothing short of sensational with the ball today.
Still only 10 fours and 2 sixes, though. And that 4 from Katie George was the first for a while, wasn't it? Oh, that's a nice ball again.
Not as much feet movement, excuse me, from Karis Pavley there.
That could be tight. It is tight, but is not out. Hands on heads all around the fielding side. The Hampshire Hawks. I thought that was pretty close, but clearly not close enough.
Both Wellington and Adams, I think, putting quite a lot of pressure on the batters here. And I mean, singles has been quite tight in the field, and a lot of scoring positions have been quite hard for them to really get through. So coming down the wicket and trying to make avenues to score runs is probably what George and Pavley are going to have to do here.
Cut away. Just looking for the single, but no. 48 she's on, 105 for 2. Partnership now 34 between these two. Midway through over 15.
Bit of a fielding change to you. Long out off. Sorry, long out.
It's the pads. And it's a leg bite. She stays on 48.
Seeing Katie George get out the sweep a little bit more is showing her confidence has probably risen a little bit while stood in the middle.
Long on and long off here for Karis Pavley, who comes down, uses her feet, and again it catches the outside edge of the bat. Very good bowling from Amanda Jane Wellington again. And Katie George will try and reach that 50 once more.
I wonder what she must be feeling right now. What goes through your mind?
Good question. You tell us.
Haven't got there ever. Pulls out the reverse.
She does pull out the reverse, and it's a dot ball again. Even more frustrating. She's stuck on 48 from 41 deliveries, and we are 15 overs through. 107 for 2, and the partnership between these two, 36 off 33. There was a lot of conversation between Katie George and Abby Freeborn, who was acting as one of the sub-fielders who went sprinting off to the dugout and came back again. Whether that was about instructions or tactics, when to kind of put the foot down, given there is still batting to come. They're not really taking too many risks, are they?
What do you reckon the approach is here to Adams this over?
Probably just to see her out, I would have thought. And Karis Pavley didn't take my advice, and instead she's bowled for 21. And Georgia Adams has got her second. 2 for 13 for her now at the start of her final over, and the Bears now 107 for 3.
Yeah, head up in the air there, just didn't really quite get right to the pitch of the ball, and unfortunately just swinging for the stars a little bit.
Yeah, she was. Georgia Adams has bowled very well, so no surprise. It's a tough call as to whether you just see Georgia Adams off, which I thought may have been the option, but having not scored too heavily previous over against Amanda Jade Wellington, maybe it needed to be done. Em Arlott's coming. We mentioned they've got wickets in the hatch, so only 3 down, 107 on the board, and if they're going to get up at around 150, they kind of need to start finding some boundaries.
Just look at that again from Adams. She probably saw Karis Pavley coming down a little bit, dropping it a little bit shorter for her, and unfortunately just couldn't quite get bat on ball there from Pavley.
Extends her lead as the top wicket taker in the Women's Blast this year. Em Arlott going for a bit of reef and place your hands to come out too. Well, let's hope she's going to place her hands around that bat handle and swipe some sixes here. We know she can hit big, Obviously, they played with the batting order a little bit against Surrey, just to try and get Em in, because once she gets those levers going, they can be quite effective. Now batting with captain Katie George today. Not sure what the delay is. However, we don't appear to have a wicketkeeper. That's the obvious delay. So problems with that hand again, I'm going to assume.
Had a rotation here. Looks like it's Pippa Sproul. Come on for Ree Southby here. Seems like the hand is probably a little bit worse than we thought it was.
Yeah, so she's going to take the gloves. I wonder what the delay was. So a change behind the stumps.
Good campaign for Scotland, Pippa had. Nice to see her out on the pitch, and she's done well for Hampshire too this year.
Arlett's off the mark, giving the strike to Katie George. Georgia Adams with 2 for 13. Super effort so far from the Hawks skipper. Now, what's the Bears skipper got? Uses her feet and crashes it straight to the fielder.
Hit it almost too well.
It sounded very nice out of the bat, didn't it? 108 for 3. Use of feet again. Flogged into the leg side. Can they turn this into a 2? Yeah, well, they're going for it this time. Arlett's running to the danger end, and she gets there. And she gets her 50, Katie George. Score moves on to 110 for 3. Her 50 coming off 42 balls. And 5 fours and 1 6 for Katie George. And her first blast at 50 is in the bag. Now, can she press on from here? Gives herself room. She's followed by Georgia Adams, but she sweeps for 4. Maybe that release of pressure, finally passing that 50, just will allow her to free up a little bit.
Katie George is looking really, really well in this kind of back end of the innings. She looks confident in herself. She looks like she's dominating the crease quite a lot, using her feet and, of course, pulling out the sweep shot. And we've seen the reverse now as well, targeting those gaps pretty well. And it's nice to see her using the space as well in the crease, stepping out into that leg stump a little bit.
Striking about 116 so far. Now she comes down the ground, in the air. There's a fielder underneath it. Oh, it's dropped. I think it's Sweet that's put it down. What looked a fairly simple catch. But Katie George lives to fight another day.
And for Jessica Sweet, normally quite a reliable fielder, I think she'll be quite disappointed that she got that maybe a bit too overconfident, or maybe it's just the situational a little bit. But Katie George will be relieved with that, hoping to continue her innings.
Well, that looks like that's the end of the over, the end of Georgia Adams' spell, and what a good spell it was. 2 wickets for 21 runs. 115 for 3 then after 16 overs, so 4 to go. And 160, 150's got to be the target, hasn't it?
I mean, 7 wickets in hand. You would hope that now is the time that Katie George would probably start going a bit more berserk. She's got a lot more time to play with now, and that confidence, she's probably seeing the ball pretty well here.
She's the captain today. She can't go too berserk. She's got responsibilities. Amanda J. Wellington to bowl again. Well, maybe she's going to go mad. Has she got enough of that? Yes, she has. Just sneaks over the ropes. Not quite into the construction site, but it's 6 more from Katie George.
No, I love this, and the way that she stepped across out to her off stump, and she's opened up that front leg to really try and nail down that cow corner boundary. I mean, not quite in the construction site, but I think she's now trying.
Hitting against the spin as well. That one's angled in at the pad. She's beat the fielder. Now it's going to be a race to the boundary ropes. Not quite got enough to get there, but they'll probably run a third. No, they're not going to run a third. But we don't see many threes in Blast cricket, and we're not seeing one this time round. I mean, I could ask you, Aaron, when was the last time the Bears ran a 3, but I won't. That would be too harsh.
3 in this heat as well. Wouldn't want to.
8 off the over so far, the first 2 balls, 123 for 3. She's got that again out to that square leg boundary and beyond the fielder for 4. Perhaps should have done a little better. in terms of cutting that off, but it is 4 more to the total, and she's raced here onto 67.
Bit flatter, and faster from Wellington in there, but Katie George, good foot movement.
Between the two fielders perfectly by Katie George. She's certainly put her foot on the accelerator. Oh, a bit more flight from Amanda Jade Wellington, and it does for Katie George in the end. And the skipper's gone for an excellent 67 off of 49 balls. Bowled by Amanda Jade Wellington, and the Bears won 27 for 4 with 2 balls remaining of the 17th.
Yeah, definitely trying to continue things in the right way. She's been attacking Wellington. We've seen this over. Probably the most expensive over from Wellington so far. So good to see her try and push that a little bit. Just couldn't quite get to the pitch of the ball, and I think just kind of missed her. Kind of yorked herself a little bit, actually.
Yeah, the experience of Amanda Jade Wellington paying off. She'd taken a little bit of tap in this over, but it does bring the new batter to the crease. Sophie Beach on debut. Well, I mean, it's kind of little and large with these two, isn't it? Tall old Emma Arlott and Sophie Beach alongside her, towering over her.
Really good position in the game, I think, as well, to come into bat. I mean, there is a lot to get for Warwickshire here, but also a little bit more freedom to maybe try and score a couple of runs and maybe go after Wellington a little bit more.
12 off the over so far. 2 balls left for Wellington, 1 for 29 her figures. That's after going for 12. So here's Sophie Beach's first ball. It's down the leg side, and it will be a wide. So it will be bowled again. 1 more to the total. 128 for 4.
I mean, it must be pretty cool playing against people like Wellington on your debut.
Maybe a little intimidating, but gets that one out. No run. They've brought long off into the ring following the departure of Katie George.
Lupia there from Wellington. Really good variation.
1 more to come then. Again, a lot of flight. Will get a single this time. 1 more to the total. 129 for 4. And that's after 17 overs. And Wellington finishes with 1 for 31 from her 4 overs. Her and Georgia Adams between them, picking up 3 wickets for 50 odd runs. That's a pretty decent performance from the 2 experienced spinners in this Hawk side.
It's been impressive. It's been really well placed as well by Georgia Adams. We talked about her captaincy earlier, but you can see her plan has been quite evident here for Hampshire. Maybe slightly getting away from them a little bit with Katie George's innings and her going a little bit more aggressive towards the spinners. However, we have Daisy Gibb coming back on.
We do. Daisy Gibb and her dodgy finger. It's a big old plaster on her left hand there.
I believe that she actually had surgery for her
really?
finger. She had quite a nasty injury to her pinky. I saw her getting a bit upset on online on social media about it.
Down the ground from Emma Arlott. Beats the first fielder. Will be cut off though. And they'll just come back for 2. In fact, it's by Sophie Beach, obviously, who struck that quite confidently. Arlott's just a bystander at the moment at the other end.
She's not had to do too much work, has she?
Nope. Only faced 1 ball. She'll be itching to swing the bat, I suspect. 3 overs to go. 10 and over from here would get them up to the 160 mark.
Daisy Gibb actually really good with variation. She has a very good cross-seam ball as well as a slower ball in her arsenal. So
Trying to get a clear look at what she's bowling here. I don't think she's gone cross-seam here, but we'll see. It's a nice shot from Beach. Reversing that from outside the off stump. Just gets 1. Bowled on your debut. I suppose if there's a time you can go and play with a bit of freedom, it probably is on your debut, isn't it?
On your debut, especially in a position of where, like, you know, it's not a must-win sort of game, it alleviates it, and it's good to see someone stepping up as well.
The cries for 2 immediately from Emma Arlott. And it's a comfortable 2. Sophie Beach well back in her crease. Well run there.
It's good intent from the 2. You can see that at least to run a ball here, which they have to. It's the back end of the innings.
134 for 4. 5 off the over so far. At least 10 and over is the ideal from here. Down the ground, with power, with pace, and with precision. Arlett with a big 6 over the ropes.
You talk about levers, and I think that's the perfect example. Just perfectly placed in the slot, and nice and straight from Arlett back over Daisy Gibbs' head.
Must be frustrating as a fielder because you're looking at it thinking, no. For so long, it's very effortless from Arlett. 140 for 4. Goes again, this time into the leg side, just be 1. Good over so far, though. 12 from it. 1 ball still to come. I argue this is a bit of a free hit for Sophie Beach as well, because she could try and flail this one away to the boundary, leaving Arlett on strike. She sets up to reverse, and she does, and gets an under edge. Where's it? It's gone. I thought she got a bat on that. No bat, according to the umpire. She looks a bit frustrated. She's out. Well, finger was raised very quickly. I thought she got the bottom under edge of the bat on that, but not according to our umpire. And she's away, and she's out on debut for 4.
Pat on the back there from Arlett. Definitely a situation, like we said, again, probably is a bit more relieving to be there. Just look at this quickly. It does.
It's glove. I mean, yeah, I was going to say, I thought there was absolute clear battle glove on that. There. That's a terrible decision. Well, she didn't really argue much, did she? I'm surprised she didn't show her frustration. I think I would have. It was the direction of travel to the wicketkeeper that had me convinced that there had to be some kind of bat on it, as opposed to pad. 1-4, 1-for-5 then. And here comes Chloe Brewer. Let's have a closer look again. There. Looks like pad to me. No, I mean glove to me. Just because the way the ball then diverts and deviates. Aaron, you're a Badger.
Well, yeah, I mean, in slow motion it does appear as though there's a little bit of glove or maybe just the under edge, but yeah, for Sophie Beach, at least we got to see a little bit of what she's like as a batter, and look, I'm sure she'll have plenty more opportunities in the future.
Here's Poppy Tulloch into Arlett, and it will be 1 to the total.
Full toss that wasn't quite punished.
So Chloe Brewer is the new batter. Penultimate over. That 160 target. You feel still very much in mind here. Need 18 from the last 11 balls. Oh, inside edge. 1 more to the total. Brings Arlett back on strike.
Yeah, Chloe Brewer, first ball trying to target that offside. We saw her step out to the leg stump there. Get a nice edge on it.
It's a tough time to come in, isn't it?
It is. It's difficult. Especially knowing what your target in mind should be potentially for that innings, and just ensuring that, you know, you can finish the innings off well to complement Katie George's innings, I think, at the top order.
Just 1 more for Arlett. I suppose it's been quite tricky for Chloe as well, because she's not really had because the top order has batted quite well throughout the campaign. She's not really had a chance to build an innings of any description. It's always very much coming in at this stage. The wonders of T20 cricket. She's gone to play the ramp, and it's evaded everybody. And it's all the way through for 4 byes. Well, we'll take them however they come.
Well, you were just saying, Adam, that, you know, it's a difficult position for her to be in, of course, with that top order, but it looks like she's feeling pretty confident already at the crease quite early in her innings, already pulling out the scoop.
Got to just play your shots, haven't you? 1-4-8 for 5.
I think good option to the seam attack. Doesn't seem to be moving as much as it was quite early on.
No, it seems to just drop off after the first kind of 4 or 5 overs. Once the ball's been smacked around a little bit, the shine goes. Coming back for a first single. Yeah, they got there. Arlott was on the charge. One more. 1-4-9 for 5.
Just saw Rihanna Southby there with a bit of ice on her hand. Hopefully it doesn't impact her too much. Bit of delay here as well. And it's a cap.
It's a cap, so not standing up to Tulloch. Well, that will just give Emma a bit of freedom to manoeuvre around the crease, maybe. Use her feet a little more. This final ball of the over. I think in this format of the game, you're so used to seeing the wicketkeeper now with the helmet on, aren't you? Has she got all of that? Yes, she has. Not quite into the construction site, but beyond the fielder. And the 6 brings up the 150. 155 for 5 then, with 1 over to go. Arlott very nicely moves on to 18 from 7. And that 160 now very much inside.
Such a satisfying shot as well, the way that she positions herself, as well as like the effortless mechanics of her bat lift and her bat swing as well. Just going through that ball and almost holds the pose. Very strong base. But not in the construction site yet.
No. Interesting, we had Keith Barker up with us a couple of games ago, and he was talking about his drill. He used to start doing it at the finish of innings, and it was about having that base. So you know, if you have that solid base like we saw from him, and let your arms do the work when you're trying to hit big at the end of innings.
I mean, the key thing's your head as well. Her head is so perfectly still at every moment when she's gone through and hit her big 6s here today.
Bex Tyson's going to finish off. Chloe Brewer comes down the ground. Just going to be 1 for Arlott on strike. I mean, if you're sub-fielder today, you're a little bit annoyed, aren't you? You took that helmet off for 1 ball, then you had to bring it back on again a ball later. Obviously, the days of leaving the helmet just behind at the edge of the circle are long gone. Early intention to reverse from Emma Arlott.
Just saw her practicing that actually in the over break there.
I think she's such a big hitter. I'd be more content with her just keeping still and smacking it. But it gets her 1. She's trying to take advantage again of that short boundary. Chloe does the reverse and gets a little bit more of it. Too much in the air probably to reach the ropes, is it? Yes, it stopped. Bit of relay fielding. Arlott was going to try and come back for the 3rd, but it's just 2 to the total. 159 for 5.
Seems like a good option, yet there is still quite a large gap between that kind of 45 fielder and maybe that square leg fielder as well. I reckon just getting across that stump a little bit is a good option to Bex Tyson.
That's a full toss, and it's a no ball, so it's going to be free hit. And no wonder Emma Arlott saying no. She fancies the free hit, as you would. And opportunity here for the Bears to take advantage. 161 for 5.
Well, that 160 target has been hit.
Down the ground, Arlott comes as she found the gap. Well, she's certainly got it between the 2 fielders, but not across the ropes. It'll just be 2. Moves them on to 163. 2 balls to come. Arlett's into the 20s. Wide ball. 1 more to the total. They all help at this point.
Warwickshire probably pretty happy with this right now. Last 2 balls, probably just a lot more freedom on the mind now from Arlett.
They could get to 170. I think they'd be very happy. Down the ground she comes. Up in the air. And, dropped! It's 1 more to the total. It's another dropped catch. This time, Norgrove puts it down. Well, they've put down 2 really, really simple chances. Last ball of the innings then. Chloe Brewer to face. 165 for 5. She comes down, and that's going to be fielded. Oh, she's missed the stump, so they'll just get the 1. And they sneak through for a single, and that completes the Bears' innings. 166 for 5. Then Emma Arlett finishes 22 not out. Chloe Brewer is 7 not out. Her partnership of 25 coming off of 13 balls. And it will be a chase of 167 for the Hampshire Hawks when they come out to bat. All in all, it's not a bad total in the end from the Bears. 166. Top score, of course, was Katie George with her 67. Georgia Redmayne made 26. Caris Pavely at 21 and Arlett's 22. Unbeaten at the end. Artif will take you through the innings break, and we'll be back for the run chase.
Thank you, Adam. Yes, well, it's runs on the board, isn't it? This is the thing. I mean, yes, Hampshire have been very, very impressive. We're taking a look at a few highlights of the innings there as well. There were some really nice shots up front. Naomi Ditani was a little bit expensive. A lot of pace on from her as well, and the batter's able to use that. And Georgia Redmayne up top, played some lovely shots and then was very unlucky, really, just to time one perfectly straight down the throat of the deep backward square leg fielder. A little bit short that time from Amanda Jade Wellington, worked her way down towards deep third. That was the tantalising chase where the ball got stuck between the 2 ropes. There we go. Yeah, that's where the rope doubles over. And again, Ditani, top edge, just flies off the blade with her pace as well, especially coming down the hill from the Birmingham end. The short one there, pulled beautifully all the way for 6. Some really, really good shots early doors. And it looked like we could be on for a big score at that point in time, Regina. But Georgia Adams, here she is. She bowled a terrific spell. The first 2 overs that she bowled were like sort of circuit breakers for her team as well. Like, the batters are flying, she comes in, she slows things down. But despite that, the Bears have managed to get away to I think it's fair to call it a decent, a reasonable total here at EdgBLASTon.
Yeah, it seems like pretty par. I think we were saying 160 at the start of the innings, and I think Warwickshire should be pretty happy with getting to that situation, especially when they were slowing down maybe a little bit, kind of around that, kind of just after the power play, and not the greatest power play from that end. I think Georgia Adams as well, really slowing down the pace of that, and of course the loss of Georgia Redmayne, I think, kind of maybe stopped that momentum at the start. But good to see Katie George get into a bit of a rhythm and starting to hit some lovely boundaries, as well as Caris Pavely as well, trying to enforce that explosiveness, and then Emma Arlett at the back end just making sure that just ticks a couple over as well. Yeah, batting quite high up the order as well. We talked about all the all-rounders in the lineup. That was a really lovely delivery, that from Amanda Jade Wellington. It was quick, fast, and just went right through. There was some nice hitting towards the end, as you say. Emma Arlett, 2 big 6s from her. 22 off 10 she got, but she was batting at number 5 today, which is a lot higher than you'd sort of associate. You think of Emma Arlett as a sort of the opening bowler, and she's one of those players where you're looking at her bowling stats before her batting stats, but just demonstrating today, particularly in sort of T20 cricket in this competition, the Blast, she could be quite a handy number 5, especially if you've got a good platform set for her to come in on. Yeah, that versatility that she's showing today is pretty key, and I think situationally as well, she probably is that the person that is correct in that situation, because like we were saying previously, she has that strong base, and she has that the levers to really go for it and hit that long boundary, especially in that leg side, probably targeting especially that really small boundary on the leg side when batting at the pavilion end.
Yeah, certainly. We can see the players actually warming up and just getting ready. I like the energy about the team as well today. But it looked like there's a little bit of freedom about them. They're not being tied down. I mean, there was some really good bowling, I thought, from Hampshire. And the Bears really had to bat well to end up on 166 for 5. And yeah, just looking at them going, this is it. Let's talk about Katie George a little bit as well. 67 for her. You know, captain today. You know, just a late call, I imagine, for her to be made captain. But 67 off 49 deliveries, 7 fours, 2 sixes, terrific knock, wasn't it?
100%, and really was the anchor of the innings today. I think obviously her innings played a large part in Warwickshire's total for today, but I think she showed a captain's innings today, and that really proved kind of the point of, okay, I need to take responsibility for this batting innings. And I think ultimately it meant that every player could play around her a little bit more. Karis Pavley, we saw her from the get-go coming down the wicket and really trying to attack the spinners front on, and we also saw early on Georgia Redmayne as well, also trying to go for the boundaries a little more, target a little bit, move in her crease, until Katie George also took that responsibility on herself and then utilised the creases. We're seeing her, you know, step out onto that off stump or run down the wicket, or even step out onto that leg stump, play a couple of sweeps as well when she got comfortable. Even the reverse, I know it didn't go her way, but that reverse as well, which probably led that kind of freedom spirit that the rest of the players could also interpret it for themselves. We saw that in Sophie Beach as well, I think, coming out and playing a reverse couple balls into your first ever debut innings.
It takes guts, doesn't it?
It does, for sure.
It takes a different kind of application early doors to do that. I mean, it took me maybe 20 years to build up the courage to play a reverse sweep, but that's not how they're built these days. I mean, she got 4 off 5, which doesn't sound like much, but it's a debut that she'll remember, and there's still time to make more of it as well for the wicketkeeper on debut today, playing her first game as a professional for Warwickshire. Well, the bowlers for the Bears, let's talk about them a little bit, because they're going to have a role to play. So many options as well for Katie George, the Warwickshire captain today. They'll obviously the Taylor twins, Mary and Millie, will be available to her, but also Phoebe Brett, Hannah Baker, you know, Amala, obviously. Amu Suran Kumar has been very impressive, although, you know, pace on we've seen can be a little bit of a detriment if you're not bang on the money, particularly with that short boundary. But lots and lots of options, and this is something that was very useful for Hampshire as well. I felt like in that power play, you know, for the Hampshire captain Georgia Adams, she was able to turn to very early in the piece to Bex Tyson and then to Amanda Jade Wellington, just and to herself, to slow things down. And having lots of spin options is never a bad thing.
Agreed, and I think players like Millie Taylor will probably be quite key today. We saw Bex Tyson with the left arm and getting quite good angles, and was only really hit for runs when the batter was attacking and really trying to move and create those boundary spaces. So I think Millie Taylor, especially on this today, if she can get her line lengths right as well as get her speed right today, I think she could be a massive threat to this Hampshire lineup.
Hampshire on a big run though, and they've done really well coming into this game. I think won their last how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games coming into this, and the game before that was tied, and the game before that they won as well. So they're unbeaten in their last 8 games in this competition on Hampshire. So it's you know, it's a tall order. They are a team that chase well, that set well. Just a couple of games ago, they won a match against the Lancashire women by 9 wickets with 33 balls to spare, and then the one before that by 8 wickets, 19 balls. It's still quite daunting for the Bears, but again, playing with that sense of sort of gay abandon, really, just knowing that there isn't a lot on the line. There's nothing on the line, really. You're not going to make it through. Best you can do is upset the potential future champions.
And Hampshire as well, with a batting lineup that runs so deep. We can see them bat all the way from that one, maybe all the way to their number 9, and that's quite a threatening and daunting experience for Warwickshire, because once you get one out, is that joy that's very temporary, and then, oh no, we have a next one. And I think that's been a key in Hampshire's campaign this blast. I think knowing that they bat so deep and they have so many all-rounders as well in their squad. But I think maybe there's a little bit of a worry as well for Rhys Southby. We saw her injured a little bit earlier, where Pippa Sproul had to come in and take the gloves from her.
Yeah, we'll hopefully get an update on her at some stage. And hope she's okay. Rihanna Southby, you can just see a lone gull there, just wandering around the outfield, the other side of where the players are practicing. I was trying to find it from our vantage point up here. We're at a slightly different vantage point. As you're watching this stream, by the way, you see that big blue mill building bang in the middle? Just in that middle tier is where we are. And as we were watching the game, just above is where the writers, the scribblers, sit. I know you've been sitting there a lot recently during the Women's T20 World Cup in the writers' box and with all the press and the journalists and the content makers.
Yeah, it's been a joy. I mean, especially at Birmingham, I think it was amazing to have the first game at EdgBLASTon. I mean, what a ground! The Hollies. I sat in the Hollies as well for a little bit during the first game, and just knowing that vibe of Danny White-Hodge scoring some runs and the whole of England kind of supporting you in that moment was truly terrific, and I think that really set the tone for the tournament to make it really good.
Yeah, a few days after that for the India-Pakistan game, it was a fascinating atmosphere. Although I will say the Hollies during that Women's T20 World Cup was very different to the Hollies we get here at the T20 Blast, and certainly for when the England men's team come out and play as well. But 166 is what the Bears have put up. 167 is going to be the target for the Hampshire women. And just a reminder, it's the first of a double header today on Bears TV. It's our last double header of the season. Sad. We've got later on the men, Warwickshire taking on Glamorgan, and believe it or not, they still have a chance to qualify. I mean, they're sitting bottom of their group, and yet they still have a chance to qualify. It's the top 2 teams in each of the 3 groups in the men's competition, and the 2 best third-place teams that go through. And through a sequence of results that Aaron Wiles was trying to explain to me a little bit earlier, with the use of a bar graph and a big pie chart and a scientific calculator. You know, the calculator you had to buy before your GCSE maths exams, one of those. But it's possible. The Bears can do it. So make sure you stay with us later on. That'll be on a separate stream here on Bears TV. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so that you always know when there's new content coming your way. There'll be One Day Cup action later on as well on this channel, so make sure you just looking at Aaron Wiles because he's going to be presenting a lot of that, and I just got the nod. I think he's yes we will. One Day Cup action as well, so if you want to stay on up to date on all of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps us out, so make sure you do that and keep liking and keep commenting away as we go through today's 2 games. But here we go. It's the Bears women making their way onto the field. Can they chase? Beg your pardon, can they defend 166? Adam Bridge is going to take you through the action alongside. Well, take your pick. Adam, you get to choose. Well, it is Regina. Yeah, I thought it might be. Right. So anyway, I'm going to take my leave, Regina. But just as Adam takes his position for commentary, what's important from the Bears here in the power play? Obviously, they want wickets. They want 10 of them if they can get them in the next 6 overs. But what's important to see in the first instance?
Just making sure that the Bears keep on top of everything. I mean, obviously, we saw that their power play probably wasn't what they wanted. So I think they're going to want the same for Hampshire, just to put that pressure on really early on and then force them to have to try and score a couple boundaries later on. But hopefully we'll just see some, especially from Emma Arlott coming on for the first over, a bit of movement with the ball, which would be good for Warwickshire. And they've got quite a decent seam attack as well, actually.
They have Amu, Sudan Kumar, Mary Taylor as well, obviously. Chloe can bowl a bit of that too. Plus, of course, plenty of spin options.
Just ensuring they put pressure front on. I mean, like I said with Ardif, they've got such a deep batting lineup, Hampshire do. So just making sure that they can really attack that front on, not let them get too comfortable at the crease.
All eyes as well on Sophie Beach behind the stumps then on debut. And it's going to be Emma Arlott to get us underway from the Birmingham end. And for the Pants for a single. Brings Georgia Adams on to strike. Well, we know she's done well with the ball this campaign. And he's nodding. That means she's done well with the bat too. Okay.
Yeah, she certainly has. 289 runs striking above 120. So, yeah, Georgia Adams, dictionary definition of an all-rounder. Excellent captain as well. And, well, she's got a rather prominent role to play here for the Hawks in this run chase.
She gets the first boundary. Beyond the outstretched arms of Georgia Redmayne. And it's to the ropes for 4. Good start from the Hawks captain.
Just a bit too much width there from Emma Arlott. Especially front on, that's pretty much your ideal first ball of the innings.
Yeah, it's well cut away, isn't it? It was the perfect length. Excellent start for the Hawks. And in particular for their captain. And will Emma Arlott respond? Slower ball.
Bowling a bit more into Georgia Adams, forcing her to play straight.
Yeah, it looks like the field's looking for that, doesn't it? So the two fielders that are out may have a slightly better view than me. I think they're both around the corner, are they? We got one down. Yeah, I think they're both around the corner. The two fielders that are out. Aaron can probably, yeah, he's nodding. He's got a slightly better view than we have from his den. It's a lovely shot.
It's beautiful.
Very effortless, isn't it?
Her backswing is just so lovely. I love the way that, you know, her lift comes through, but she just looks so elegant in how she goes through and carries her bat.
Does she play golf too?
I think she does, you know.
Yeah, I think you can tell.
I think when you're living in the southeast especially, or sorry, the south just in general, I think golf is quite
It's an expectation. Well, when you're playing at Hampshire, it's an
Oh, for
expectation,
sure.
isn't it? Yeah, to play golf. Emma that just gives her head a whack with the ball. Won't be happy with a couple of these deliveries. That's in the air, but safely to Suran Kumar. Another dot ball.
Maybe just a little bit less pace on that, just making sure she gets her lines right.
Remember, 167's the target. Well played, very clever from Georgia Adams again. Georgia Redmayne's after it, but she's not going to win that race. Her and Millie Taylor are going to be beaten. And it's another boundary, 3 from that first over. And the Hawks are 13 without loss.
Well, all three Georgia Adams boundaries there in that first over, just on that off stump, and she's played that quite well, waited for the ball to bounce and hit it just when it has pitched. But Emma probably not happy with that, trying to probably angle it into her Georgia Adams a little bit, but just not quite going her way.
Not a lot of foot movement from Georgia Adams in any of those shots. As an opening pair, how are these two gone, Aaron? Well,
Yeah, they tend to complement each other very, very well. So with Adams, a little bit more languid, classic, conventional technique, and then Ella McCacken has been one of the stories really of Tier 1 cricket. Last season, she was, well, exceptional, for want of a better word. So, yeah, this will be an intriguing partnership between the two of them.
and it is McCacken who's to face Mary Taylor to start with. And it's a dot ball.
Played a lot of cricket with each other, so when it comes to this competition, probably know each other just as well.
Always helps, doesn't it? Particularly running between the wicket, the understanding that you have.
I was also talking about Mary Taylor.
You were, yeah, of course. Hawks last year. Come to
Sure.
join her sister this time round. We was discussing earlier how there's only a few minutes between that. Mary's very much the mum of the two, apparently.
She, you know what, growing up, she probably was, I think. They both complement each other very well, but they were very distinct in their personalities.
Oh, that's a nice ball.
I think it's been a good move for Mary Taylor too. I think coming out and being in a team where she also gets to flourish as a seamer has been really imperative for her, and I think the growth of her as well, being in kind of more of an all-rounder position as well. We know how good she is with that bat, but obviously with that Hampshire squad, it's really hard to break through as well with the bat.
Oh, it's a beauty. Absolute beauty from Mary Taylor. Rattles the stumps. And the first wicket's down for the Hawks. They're 13 for 1. Brilliant ball.
Opening bowler's dream. That's just maybe slightly just nipped in there and beaten Ella McCacken for pace there. Brilliant.
Full, straight, like you say, a little bit of movement. And the death rattle behind of the middle stump being rocked back.
good positions. This is the probably vibe that Warwickshire needed, especially the first breakthrough quite early on after that first over.
Yeah, it's a really good start. Abby Norgrove is the new batter. At the moment, Mary Taylor hasn't conceded a run and has the first wicket in the innings in this over. Norgrove on strike. How about Norgrove this campaign?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a quiet one, to be honest, for Abby Norgrove.
We like that, yeah.
Well, you say that, things can change very quickly in T20 cricket, but yeah, 101 runs with a strike rate below 94.
Okay. Full onto the pads. It'll be a single to Hannah Baker, who hurls it over the top of Sophie Beach. Abby Norgrove bouncing around out there. They'll be probably quite relieved. A bit of cloud cover seems to have just tucked the sun away for a moment or two. A bit of welcome relief.
Might see some people from the Holly stands venture down a little bit.
I think a lot of people have gone in the stand beneath us today just to ensure that they got some kind of cover. That's onto the pads again, and it's one more to the total. Excellent over from Mary Taylor. 2 singles from it and a wicket, and at this end of the second, the Hawks are 15 for 1. Well, here comes Amu Surankumar, one of our favourites. She's in from the Birmingham end. How many wickets has she taken in this campaign?
Yeah, she's taken 8, and that includes career best figures of 3 for 22. They came against Essex right here at EdgBLASTon not even a week ago, or, well, in fact, no, it wasn't a week ago, was it? Less than a week ago in that game against Essex. But I think the word which continues to crop up with Amu, whether it's batting or bowling, is maturity. I mean, she really is wise beyond her years and a real competitor.
It's gone down the leg side. I wonder if Georgia Adams got a flick on that. No, it's wides. All the way for wides. Wasn't it over a week ago? It was Yorkshire here last, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think of the timings.
Oh, okay.
That's what it comes down to.
It would have been this time last Friday, was it?
Exactly.
No,
It was last Friday. Yeah. Let's just say a similar time, a week ago.
Yeah, okay.
I was trying to be clever.
It's always a dangerous business. Picked up well by Georgia Adams. Just be one though. Better from Surankumar. She'll be annoyed to start with 4 wides.
I think to Adams, that's the perfect sort of plan. Making sure you bolt into her. As we've seen, she's quite good enough that offside, and she likes playing the V as well. But forcing her to probably open up and use that leg side a little bit more.
And how much would the knowledge of Mary Taylor been used in kind of coming up with the bowling plans to these Hampshire batters?
You would imagine quite a lot.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Oh, that's a good ball on the toes of Norgrove.
We've seen Abby Norgrove actually progress quite a lot in 50 over cricket, and I think she's really had to change her game around to play in 20 over cricket, and she's probably looking at more of an anchorish role with a lot more of the batters coming in and kind of scoring more around her while she holds it down. But we'll see her role today.
Again, just one.
I like this length. I think it's good from Surankumar.
Yeah, she's learning her trade very quickly. She's developed so much in the last 12 months. A real full-on 110% cricketer in every facet of the game. Oh, that's unlucky. We'll get a single. Phoebe Brett's fielding there. Round the corner. Adams with 15 of the 23 so far.
Would you imagine the plan is to try and target Norgrove a little bit?
You would have thought so. Not too many field changes for Abbey Norgrove. Well fielded. There's no run. Take out the 4 wide. It's not been a bad over for Amu Sudan Kumar. Fortunately, it doesn't work like that. 24 for 1.
Seems like some joy on the Warwickshire faces here.
Slower ball. It's going to be a dot ball to finish the over. Well fielded by Georgia Redmayne again. Well, after that 4 wides, just 4 singles from it. 24 for 1 then after 3 overs. Norgrove's on 3. Adams is on 15. I guess the question here is, do you give another over to Mary Taylor or no? You bring Phoebe Brett into the attack. Keeping you up?
That's outrageous. Anyway, something which I was actually just checking there, just while we're waiting for Phoebe Brett to come on to bowl. It looks as though the Blaze are going to beat Somerset down in Taunton, which of course, with that chat surrounding the top 4, is very important, because should the Blaze chase 48 from the remaining 10 overs, they've still got 8 wickets in hand, they will secure that place in the top 4 at the expense of Somerset. So we should have our semi-finalists all but guaranteed in, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes.
And did you work out if it's going to be a draw, or is it first versus fourth and second versus third? Did you find out?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It has been a question which has been posed at a couple of counties. Of course, if anybody's tuning in and you do have some additional clarity on that, do let us know. But yeah, we just know the quartet.
It's a good shot. 4 runs. Georgia Adams again on the way to 19. Score on to 27 for 1.
Just a bit of flight on that from Phoebe Brett. Good foot movement. George Adams looking as relaxed as ever at the crease.
I was going to say, she does look very casual in her style, doesn't she? Using her feet. It's 1 down to Em Arlett.
I think we've seen today is bowling a bit flatter has actually been quite useful for the spinners.
I suppose what that does mean is that Sophie Luff, leading run scorer, is not actually going to get through to the semi-finals, with Somerset missing out. At the moment, the top 2 run scorers aren't going to get through to the semi-finals in Abbey Freeborn as well, which is quite bizarre, really, in the grand scheme of things. 24 for 1. Oh, there's a statistical caveat coming. Brett bowls again. Good shape on that drive from Abbey Norgrove, but picks out the fielder. And after that 4 off the second ball, this has been a really nice response here from Phoebe Brett. Gone for the quick single. Oh, that was tight. She survives though, Norgrove. Katie George with a direct hit. Skipper does her job. Completes the over. 1 from it at the end, so 6 in total, I think, from the over. Score moves on to 29 for 1. Go on then.
Yes, so there has been a slight update with those rankings, because today Grace Scrivens against Durham scored 85. So Scrivens is now the leading run scorer.
So she's taken over Luff and Freeborn.
She has indeed, yeah.
Doesn't help when Abby's not playing, really, does it? She can't add to her total, bless her. Funnily enough, though, so you won't be familiar with this story. We had Abby join us, and we said to her, how many runs have you got this season? She was like, I don't know. So we broke the news to her that she had 250. And interestingly enough, when I saw her in the car park on Sunday, she'd added another, did she add 60 something to the total? And I said, she walked up to me, she went, I knew I'd gone over 300 today. And I was like, that's very exciting that you're now keeping track of your numbers, because we've kind of pointed out how well you were doing. Mary Taylor's in here and is clipped to the boundary for 4 straight away. We were just surprised that someone doesn't kind of, when they're having such a good season, hasn't kind of kept a check on their own personal runs.
But I think in a way, some would call it a bad omen, wouldn't they? They get too excited. I mean, being on 250, but like, yeah, 300, and probably be scared that you'd miss it.
True. Well, she did well. She got a 60. She got another 50 against Surrey. The form's continued. So 33 for 1. Norgrove with a boundary and a dot ball to follow from Mary Taylor.
Just going to say that boundary probably a bit of relief for Norgrove. She was kind of just hitting fielders. Hitting it well, but hitting fielders.
She was. 7 off 10 so far. Another 134 to win. This will be wicket hunting here with Mary Taylor again. That's short, and Norgrove with a wild swing.
Should probably watch Norgrove try and move a little bit there. Bit of friendly fire down the wicket.
I'm just thinking, I'll be intrigued. This must be one of the youngest Bears sides ever to take the field. It's not in football. They tend to look at the age of players and come up with the average age and all the rest of it. This feels like a really young Bears side.
It is. I mean, the average age of the squad this season is less than 23.
Wow.
They are the youngest in the entire country, and they were last season as well.
Got through the infield. Big chase on here. And Hannah Baker's not going to get there. Georgia Redmayne was a few yards behind. And it's another boundary for Norgrove. That's 2 in the over.
Just made that space on the crease, stepping out onto that leg stump, and beautifully played by Norgrove. Classic cover drive.
It's a sign of good timing, isn't it, when the ball just almost seems to be speeding up away from you. You have it within sight, but you just can't quite get there because it's so well struck. Using her feet, tickle out. Brilliant from Mary Taylor. Just followed Norgrove a little. Flicked, and there's the rub of the head for poor old Sophie Beach, who takes her first catch behind the stumps down the leg side and gets a real celebration from the rest of her Bears teammates. Beach has her first catch, Taylor's got her second wicket, and Norgrove's on her way.
Yeah, well watched by Mary Taylor, making sure she bowls into Norgrove, watching her come down. I think Norgrove got excited with using her crease a little bit.
It's an inside edge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Between bat and
moves quite
pad,
a lot.
yeah. I thought she'd tried to glance it down outside her pads, but it's gone through bat and pad.
Massive smiles from Sophie Beach.
They all had a good ruffle of her hat and her hair then, didn't they? Great moment for her. 37 for 2.
I mean, that must bring a lot of joy. We're talking about one of the youngest squads in England. I mean, Sophie Beach taking a catch like that, how can that not really inspire the next generation that is watching?
Oh, it's massive, and I have actually just crunched the numbers on this team today that's taken to the field for Warwickshire. Exactly 22 and a half. That is the average age. Yeah, it is a staggeringly young team.
Phoebe Brett does the fielding. It's a wide. So so the oldest player is
Georgia Redmayne.
Georgia Redmayne, thought so. And the youngest is...
Well, we've got 3 18-year-olds. So that... Well, sorry, I should say 2 18-year-olds in Sophie Beach, and Phoebe Brett, Amusa and Kumar turned 19
She's
this
19
year.
now, isn't she? Yeah. In youth we trust. End of over 5. 40 for 2. Georgia Adams still there on 21. Last over of the power play. Katie George just moving her fielders around. It's going to be MR that's going to have a go from this pavilion end. in this final over of the power play. Placing Phoebe Brett, who went for 6 in that first over.
Francesca Sweet also welcome to the crease.
She is the new batter. There's that catch again for Sophie Beach. The most excited wicketkeeper to take a catch I think I've ever seen. Lovely moment. She's just moving the field round. Here's Em Arlott then. She'll be hoping for better after that first over. Went for 13, but she's back bowling to Georgia Adams again. She'll just get 2 here. So Kumar and Hannah Baker combining.
A lot of running for Hannah Baker today. She's already been quite involved.
She's always chasing boundaries in that field, is our Hannah Baker. There goes Georgia Adams again with a bit more power, and this time executed to perfection between the two fielders. She's taken a bit of a liking here to Em Arlott as Georgia Adams.
Yeah, Em Arlott just not getting her length right, bowling quite short actually, as we've seen both deliveries coming up quite well for Charlotte Edwards. My goodness, Georgia
That's
Adams.
A throwback.
Apologies, Georgia Adams. Nice pull off the front foot.
.46 for 2. They get 2 here. We talk about matchups for bowlers sometimes when they're facing certain batters. This is quite a nice matchup for Georgia Adams against Em Arlott. She seems to be enjoying herself so far. 8 from the over. Short in the air. Suren Kumar's not going to get there. Well, there were 2 fielders there before that got perfectly dissected between the 2 of them. This time round, it's just Suren Kumar chasing it, and it's another boundary.
Yeah, Em Arlott, it seems like she's just struggling here. I mean, we've seen a couple boundaries here now, and all of which off short balls.
Is that partly down to the fact that she tried kind of bowling a slightly decent length and the slower balls, and they got picked up as well? So she's kind of almost scratching around for the answers right now, which is a testament to how well Georgia Adams is batting. That's short again.
Didn't come up just as much.
Also, is she trying to avoid bowling anything with width on the offside just because of that short boundary too?
Maybe it's worth taking a little bit of pace off as well, forcing the batter to kind of do all the work for them.
Well, I think as we saw in the Bears innings, the spin kind of tends to be key, doesn't it? No run. A dot ball to end an expensive over. 13 from it. That completes the power play, and it's a very good power play, Aaron, for the Hampshire Hawks.
It certainly is, yep. Compares very well to what we saw from the Bears earlier on. The home side were 41 for 1 after their opening 6 overs, as you can see there. Hampshire are 53 for 2. Very similar dot ball percentage. The big differential is the number of boundaries. The Bears had just 5. Hampshire have already got 9, the vast majority of which have come courtesy of the captain, who right now is striking at exactly 200.
Can we see how many Georgia Adams runs have come off the bowling of Em Arlott? Can you find that one out?
Very easily.
Yeah, okay. 53 for 2. Then Caris Paverley is going to have a bowl from the far end. They've had to do without her, of course, through the majority of this campaign due to cover with the full England side, being away with England A. We've missed having Caris around, but here she is to bowl. Cut away by Adams for 1. She's on to 35 from 18. Excellent with the ball, and now doing it with the bat as well. Dot ball from Pavely, very much required.
We have got the answer.
Yes.
I'd like to pose the question to you two first. If I told you that Arlott has conceded 26 runs from those opening 2 overs, how many do you think Adams have scored?
24.
20?
Both good guesses. 25.
Oh, wow.
25 of the 26 runs have come off George Adams' bat, and I mean, just looking effortless so far. There hasn't really been a risky shot in those, well, 35 in the innings as a whole.
Definitely setting the tempo.
That's a great shot. Just waited for it, and she's picked her spot. I mean, it's well. I was going to say there's protection out there, but when you pick your spot like that, there's not a lot you can do.
I thought potentially for Caris Pavely you probably have that kind of cow cornerish fielder, maybe a bit straighter anyway, especially if she's got a long on and long off as well.
I think I gave someone else another single, you see, off of FOMR. Like I was being a little generous with my 24.
Well bowled there by Caris Pavely.
It's not bad. 7 off the over, is it? It's better than it has been. 60 for 2 off of 7. Just 107 required now, so that run rate down at around 8.2 per over, which, given the rate they've been going at, is manageable. I think it's wickets that are required here, aren't there? I think we're going to see Chloe have a bowl as well. Chloe Brewer coming on at this pavilion end.
Just looking to get George Adams off strike here. Anything will do. 1.
Well, she's back to striking at 200 again. Just drifting onto the pads. 1 to the total. Is this Chloe's first bowl this year in the Blast? No.
It's not her first bowl, but she is searching for her first wicket. And interestingly, in her career, prior to this season, has only ever taken 1 in the format. So could be doubling up her tally potentially in this game.
It's 4. Cut away by Sweet that time. Very nicely done. Hannah Baker's on the other side now, chasing the boundaries. Can't stop that one. Goes for 4. 65 for 2.
Francesca Sweet, good with her hand-eye coordination. You know, she used to be a national champion in rackets.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I bet she plays paddle now.
Have to ask her.
Stump's broken, but 1 more to the total. 66 for 2. Well run. I'm sure the Bears did enough of that, turning those 1s into 2s. Well, that's really good from the Hawks.
ticking along.
It is 9 off the over without really taking any risks. Too much of an effort. Just really clinical from Sweet and Adams. Adams on 44 now. Sweet on 6. 1 to come in the over. 69 for 2. That's up in the air. Is there a chance here? No, that's all the way for 6. And it's a big hit from Francesca Sweet. You could say she struck it sweetly. That's the end of the 8th over. Score moves on to 75 for 2. And that's a big old hit from Francesca Sweet. She's on to 12. The score 75 for 2 after 8. Hannah Baker is into the attack from the Birmingham end with 92 required, make that 91. And this partnership between these two, 39 now of 20. Going very nicely. Adams on to 45.
I mean, just reflecting on that Hampshire innings, you would have thought that all the spinners would be brought on by now from the Warwickshire team.
Good bit of keeping from Sophie Beach, but they got comfortably back. 2 more to the total. Yeah, we haven't seen Millie yet. Sometimes we don't see Millie until around over 10, to be fair. See, we've had an over from Phoebe, and this is Hannah's first. Caris has had a bowl. Oh, yes, she's got her. Yes, she has. She strikes. Hannah Baker. Good take as well from Sophie Beach behind the stumps. And it's another wicket. 3rd of the innings. Sweet's gone for 14. Caught by Beach. Off the bowling of Baker. 78 for 3.
Yeah, second catch with Beach. She's having a good day out. Just didn't fully get their head over the ball there from Sweet. Good start from Hannah Baker. The joy is contagious looking at Sophie Beach. And the glasses as well, I love it.
Well, Nancy Harmon coming in. Obviously, the issue with Rihanna Southby, of course, is the fact she got that hand injury while keeping wicket. So, may well be light in that respect. So, Harmon coming in a little earlier, maybe, than was anticipated. 78 for 3. Good healthy run rate over 9, so only 7.7 per over required, and Georgia Adams becomes quite key to this run chase now. Oh, that's up in the air, and it's going to land safe. It's another good ball from Hannah Baker. Bringing in the full shot from Harmon. Really good start here from Hannah Baker. Slight misfield from Millie Taylor. Five off the over so far. Not quite going to get to the ropes. It's going to be hurled in, and there'll be 2 more. And that does complete the 9th over. The score moves on to 82 for 3, should we say. Adams on to 46 and Harmon's on 3. Don't forget as well, thanks for joining us on the stream today. We would love you to stick your thumbs up and give it a like. Also subscribe as well. That's quite important too, isn't it?
does help.
Yeah, a subscription does help. So get the likes up. Don't forget, first of 2 streams today. So if you subscribe, you'll make sure that the next stream comes your way, and you'll be notified for the start of the men's game a little bit later against Glamorgan. Some big hitters Glamorgan have got. That promises to be an exciting encounter for a Friday night in the sunshine. And as you requested, here is Millie. Swept in the air. Oh, and just over the top of Hannah Baker. And it's 6 runs immediately. Brings up the 50 for Georgia Adams. Striking at 200. Just 26 balls for her 52. And the Hawks on to 88 for 3. And a real captain's innings from Georgia Adams.
Yeah, Georgia Adams looking cool as anything. Still at that crease. Takes control and just looks like she has the game in her hands already. And also, she plays everywhere. I mean, we've seen all her boundaries today, and I don't have the exact wagon wheel, of course, Aaron, but, you know, she's able to play all around the pitch. We've seen boundaries through the covers as well as just through the cow corner just there.
Aaron loves a wagon wheel. Especially those with the jam in. They're his favourites. He brings one to every game in his packed lunch.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I see.
89 for 3. He will be bringing up the wagon wheel for you now to show you in a moment.
The real one, of course.
The real one,
yeah. Of course.
Not the chocolate one. He's had that already. He had that before the game started. 89 for 3. Harmon's on 3. Use of feet is good. Fielding is excellent from Katie George, the Bears captain. Keeps it to just 1.
I think the key is as well with Millie Taylor, as you're seeing here from Nancy Harmon and Georgia Adams, try and attack her early, try and put her under pressure, because once Millie Taylor gets in a flow, it's so difficult to play her.
Certainly is. She's gone for 8 so far. That's a full toss. Down the ground and caught by Katie George. Well, sometimes it's not your best ball that gets the wicket, but it's got Georgia Adams here. Out for 53. And Millie Taylor strikes, and it's 90 for 4, and now it starts to get interesting.
Yeah, Millie Taylor trying to vary it a little bit, probably a bit more flight on that delivery just for Georgia Adams, and she hit that straight to Katie George.
One captain to another. Catch taken by Katie George.
Looking cool as well, must say.
She seems to be thriving in the responsibility today, says Katie George. So Adams is gone. Rather bizarrely, I think about a similar point the Bears lost a wicket, because it was due to be the 10-over drinks break, but they have it at the fall of the wicket. So we have another new batter for the Hampshire Hawks. And it continues obviously not to be Rihanna Southby. I think it's Amanda Jade Wellington who has come to the crease. Perfectly timed really, because one of her best friends, Artif, is coming on in a couple of moments time, so he'll be able to fill us in about her batting as well as her Pokemon collection.
This is good from Warwickshire. I think the Bears put Hampshire under a lot of pressure. We talked about that batting lineup and how much depth it is, but this is truly the breakthrough that they needed to ensure that, you know, there's a lot more pressure going onto that middle order, and then eventually as well kind of hoping to finish that deep batting order and get into the tail enders a little bit. So this is good from Warwickshire. I'm sure Katie George is pretty relieved out on the pitch.
It's a good response from Millie Taylor as well. You smack for 6 first ball, the next 4, 2 runs and a wicket. So she may be young, but she's made of stern stuff, is Millie Taylor.
But I think it goes to show and highlight the point of it really has been a spinner's day.
Here we go. Last ball of the 10th over. Cut away. They're going to sneak through for 1. And they do. And that completes the 10th over. So the score moves on to 91 for 4. Harmon's on 4. Wellington off the mark with 1. So 76 more are required. And now, how do the two compare at the 10 over stage?
Yeah, it's interesting because at this stage Hampshire are better off in the runs column. So the Bears were 72 for 2. They have lost the huge wicket of their captain though, and it's funny you mentioned almost the degree of symmetry of when that wicket fell. For the Bears, the second wicket was on 9.5. We've just seen that in the run chase as well. So it's funny sometimes how you have those little things in T20 cricket, but this game is very, very nicely poised. They've got two good batters here, two batters who tend to be more finishers. I mean, Harman so far this season striking at 174. Wellington, as we know, with the sweeps and paddles, also someone who can finish off an innings with a flourish. This is a pretty big partnership for the visitors.
Hannah Baker into Amanda Jade Wellington, or AJW as she's known to Artif.
Now, her nickname's Wello.
Oh, okay.
They call her Wello. I don't think she likes AJW.
Oh, does she not?
No.
It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, AJW is a lot. It sounds like a car brand that's sort of a knockoff of a more famous one.
Full toss from Hannah Baker is dispatched by Harman. Well, if she's striking at 175, it's no surprise she's taken full advantage of that full toss. Down the ground for 4. Score moves on to 96 for 4. You've obviously been watching from the sidelines for the last few overs. It's just the same again, isn't it? Until you look like you're cruising, you lose a couple of wickets, and all of a sudden the game's back in the melting pot.
Well, there we go. You got two sort of fresh batters out in the middle who haven't spent an enormous amount of time out there. What's really important, though, for the Bears is to exert some pressure to really push it, because the scoring rate for Hampshire is, superb. They're going at just under 10s at the moment. So what you really want to do is squeeze a few quiet overs out, and that full toss from Baker wasn't the way to go. That's a bit better, but you can't offer easy singles at this point. You got to what you really want is what George Adams did for Hampshire. Really, it's just a couple of overs that create pressure, just really squeeze, make it difficult for the batters to score anything. Bring some of your fielders up as well.
Yeah, it feels like it's Boulder! Absolute beauty from Hannah Baker. Round the legs, and Wellington's on the way. She's been booted out for 2.
That's an outstanding delivery. Round her legs as well. Absolutely brilliant from Hannah Baker. Just cramping the angle. Knows that Wellington's going to go for the sweep shot. So if she's able to get through the bat, she'll always be in the game on the stumps. And there's a little smile there from Amanda Jade Wellington. She walks off. Probably appreciates that delivery. The previous one from Baker was the full toss. She came back so strongly. If we look, pitches outside leg, turns sharply in, hits the top of a leg stump. And now the wobble is on for Hampshire. Can the Bears just keep building that pressure? Each of these wickets makes them believe a little bit more. 70 off 57. You'd back most teams to do it, really. But 5 wickets in hand, another new batter, even though it is Naomi Datani with all of her experience. I don't know. This could be a tight finish.
I love that from Hannah Baker. She went round the wicket and completely did her by coming round her legs. Fantastic. Change of angle. Brilliant. Brilliant stuff from Hannah Baker. 2 for 13.
Still turning this wicket as well, which is...
There's plenty in there, isn't there?
Exciting to see. We saw a few in the first innings turn quite sharply as well. And that one from outside leg. It was a long way outside leg, so it was probably going to strike middle stump of a second set of stumps down the leg side. And turning and hitting the leg stump, that's a lot of turn.
Naomi Datani is the new batter. Another dot ball from Hannah Baker.
This is really good stuff from the Bears. They just want to squeeze, get out of this over without conceding any more runs. Build that pressure.
Get a single to complete the over. So 7 off the over. But that all-important wicket of Amanda Jade Wellington. 11 gone, 98 for 5. 69 required off 54 balls.
I sort of understand that field position there. I mean, I would have liked to have seen another fielder inside the circle, really put the pressure on, challenge the batter to try and go through a packed offside field and aim for that short boundary. But at this point, Katie George still keen to protect that short boundary and doesn't want to give away any boundaries. I can respect that, but I mean, for me, just really plug the gaps, be ruthless, make each run hard work, particularly while you got 2 new batters out in the middle. Well, very precise with her field as well. It's Taylor and Tatani's just trying to pick up on it as well. The left-hander. Deep extra cover in position towards the longer boundary. Square leg is up inside there. So actually, just as we say that, square leg's being sent back deep onto that short boundary in front of the construction site. And there's a deep mid-wicket there as well.
Get a single to short fine leg.
Yeah, bowling to the left-hander with that field, you kind of show your cards a bit, don't you? It's always going to be something quite full and into the pads.
99 for 5.
Aaron's giggling over there. I don't know what happened.
He's always giggling.
It's good. That's what we love about
He's found another wagon wheel. That's what it is. Here's Millie Taylor. Use of the feet. Good use of the feet. Right into the gap. It's excellent. Really is good from Harman. On to 13. 103 for 5. 100's up. And we're only, what, 2 balls into over 12.
Yeah, it's a terrific shot that from Naomi Datani. As we say, lots of experience. Played cricket for. I mean, she played for the Trent Rockets, the Southern Brave, and the London Spirit in the 100 as well. And she sort of became renowned for a powerful striking. So you want to stay out of that hitting zone if you're Taylor right now.
Harman turns it with a sweep for 4. Back-to-back boundaries for Harman. Moves on to 17. 107 for 5.
Yeah, sorry, beg your pardon, it's Harman, isn't it? But again, just into that hitting zone again. Like with the field that you've got, you can't bowl that line. Like I understand the desire to sort of bluff the batter a little bit, but equally, you've got a packed offside field. You're bowling outside leg. It's not where you want to be.
60 to win from 51. And again into the leg side, where there's only Amu Sudan Kumar backward of square, and a misfield allows them to pick up 2.
This is just, it's not been great execution from the Bears in this over, has to be said. They've given away 11 runs so far. This was the over that you wanted 3, maybe 4 off maximum. Just squeeze after having taken that wicket, but Hampshire batters exploiting these gaps.
Slower ball again from Millie Taylor.
There's always a single, at least a single out there to the 2 fielders in the deep and the leg side for when the right-hander's on strike.
I'm told she's working on her googly at the moment. It's not ready to bowl it yet, but she's working on it.
Variation number 3. Very good.
It's all about the variations. Chloe Brewer comes into the circle. Extra fielder drops out on the leg side. Going to get a single there, Datani. And that completes the over. An expensive one as well. 13 from it. 111 for 5.
Yeah, it's not great from a Bears perspective, that over. It just hands the momentum back to the batters. Not out of the game yet, obviously, the Bears. Another wicket, another couple of quiet overs, and they can really squeeze Hampshire here. But this is what we've already talked about, this Hampshire team. The reason why they've been really successful is because they've won passages of play just like this, where there was pressure on them. They bat so deep, and everyone of their batters so powerful. You got, you know, Harman and Datani out there, both power hitters, both capable of finding the gaps, both really sort of intelligent cricketers. Keep checking the field for every change.
3rd on the bounce from Hannah Baker.
Again, it was so proactive there for that single, and you feel like it's going right to the fielder. You want your fielder to attack that one, create some pressure. I mean, Hannah Baker's bowled really well here today. Just needs a fielders to stay on it. It's very hot, obviously, out there. It's hard to stay completely focused and have your intensity set to maximum all the way through. It's a dead rubber as well for the Bears, but even so, you want a little bit more pressure from the fielders.
Lovely shot, that. Lovely use of the feet from Harman for 4. Very nicely played.
Yeah, she struck it really sweetly today, as Harman just the last couple of overs really imposed herself on this game. And the Bears need to see the back of her quickly if they stay in this contest, because she keeps striking it that well. could end the game very quickly. Long off has gone back after that shot as well. Back on the rope.
24 off 10. Takes a chance by rocking back onto a ball that's on the stumps. Gets 2.
She was actually aiming between the long on and mid-wicket fielders and just got the ball a little bit too square. Still able to get the 2 there, committed to it early. Did Harman.
Oh, she's found the gap again.
Shot.
It is. Well, no one's landed anything yet into the construction site, but they're certainly peppering that boundary on that far side. Caris Pavely couldn't quite get there. It's 4 more.
That's just a terrific shot. Again, we talked about the cricket intelligence of these two batters, just knowing exactly where the field is set, where that short boundary is. There's 2 fielders in the deep in that region, and she's managed to perfectly bisect the pair of them. It's just, you have to just admire that stroke play.
She's on 30 off of 12 here. Into the leg side again. It's 1 more. Partnership's 26 off of 13 balls. Not messing around, here's Harman, for sure.
And she hasn't had a bat, like a significant bat, for a while. I remember she got 72 against Durham earlier this year, but that was in the One-Day Cup.
Expensive over from Hannah Baker. 12 from it. See, I always say to you, 3rd over on the bounce, it's never good.
No, it's
3rd over on the bounce is never good.
Well, the reason people say that is obviously because batters start lining you up and they start getting used to the trajectory. You have to be enormously skilled and with variation and just keeping the batters guessing. But not just that, your field has to really match your game plan. And and on top of that, obviously you've got to execute your game plan as well. And the Bears, just in the last 2 overs, have been a little bit disappointing, given away that superior position. Yeah, Nancy Harman's played some lovely shots. You have to hand it to her. Played really well. Good awareness of the field. But again, from the Bears' perspective, can they say that they've put as much pressure on these 2 batters as possible? I don't know.
Caris Pavely is going to bowl her 2nd over. She went for 7 off her 1st. I just think when you've got so many options, you don't need to bowl 3 in a row, to me. Because you're right, I think it's the lining up side of things, isn't it? You've got so many options here today, 8 different potential bowlers, and certainly a good number of different spin options available to you, of which Caris Pavely is one, and there's a dot ball to start.
Yeah. It's got protection in the deep. Amusa and Kumar at deep backward square leg, just ready for that booming sweep shot, so she can bowl into the pads with a little bit of insurance.
1 bounce to Chloe Brewer. 1 to the total.
And this isn't going to help either. The singles, just that left-right combination, the fielders having to move around, adjust their plans. Pavely's going to try a different angle as well, looks like.
Well, she's going to come around to the left-hander. Full toss is well picked up, and the throw was sharp from Chloe Brewer.
Yeah, it's good. That's more of that from the Bears you'd like to see. She was really quickly onto that, and the throw as well. I mean, the batter was comfortably home, but it just keeps your batters honest, keeps them a bit more grounded, makes them think about that 2nd run. Really, really good work that from Chloe Brewer.
And 24 for 5, midway through the 14th. Short and dispatched, but straight to the fielder, so it will just be 1.
That's poor delivery from Pavely. She got away with that.
Katie George on fielding duty.
You don't often see your captain positioned at deep mid-wicket, do you?
Leeds must. 42 required, 38 balls to go. No run again.
It's a better sequence this for the Bears. It's been a good over from Pavely as well. Just bowled to her field, been supported by her field as well. Made scoring difficult.
We did 2 off it so far. Harman getting a little frustrated. Pulls with power into the leg side, but it will just be 1. Excellent over from Karis Paverley. 3 from it. 14 gone then, 126 for 5. Okay, stats man. 6 overs to go, 41 off 36. We're thinking majority of sides get home from this kind of stage.
Yeah, you'd say so, especially with these two. Plenty of experience with Nancy Harmon and Naomi Datani. Again, 2 batters who have a plethora of scoring shots as well. So, realistically, I know it sounds painstakingly cliche, but the Bears need to break this partnership, get down into that lower to middle order and see if it can go bang bang quickly. They've brought on Phoebe Brett. Similarly to what we saw from Karis Paverley, it's going to be the left arm finger spin. Let's see what she can do.
Use of the feet from Harmon brings her 1, which I think the Bears will be accepting.
Yeah, it certainly will. I think they could keep things 2 or below a runnable this over. That'll be a very good result from the Bears' perspective. It's easier said than done. Both batters looking to attack. They've got Datani on strike, who's the less settled of the 2 batters right now, so an opportunity here for the Bears just to sneak in a few dots.
Good use of the feet from Datani. Only be a single.
This is nervy stuff, and it's just about holding your nerve at this point because, again, 39 off 34, you'd back the batting team most of the time, but 5 wickets down. Another wicket here changes the game completely. And the way the batters are playing at the moment as well, Adam, it's always going to... Oh, there's a little fumble. It didn't cost anything. It's always going to keep you in the team, keep you in the game as a team as well for Warwickshire, just because they're trying to be attacking. They don't want it to go to over number 19 or 20. They want to finish it before that. Do Hampshire, but attacking stroke play comes with risk and the chance of a wicket.
Good use of the feet just over the outstretched right hand of Chloe Brewer. Got to the pitch but didn't get all of it. Wasn't far away from Brewer's outstretched right hand. It's just 4 off the over so far. 130 for 5. Going to be cut off. It's brilliantly cut off. Karis Paverley does brilliantly. They get 2.
It's a brilliant piece of fielding, as you say. Just threw herself at the ball. Knew how crucial it was to save those 2 runs, which she did there. And now, for the last ball of the over, deep extra cover comes into the circle.
Oh, that's gone into the construction site. That's the first one of the day. It's a big hit from Harmon. And just that big blow takes her to 43. And suddenly it's 29 from 30 with 5 wickets remaining.
Well, it was a monster hit, wasn't it? It was just short from Brett, just trying to squeeze. I mean, you can understand that. She was trying to get through her over really quickly. It's a bit of extra effort, but drops short, and you definitely can't do that when you're defending a very small boundary. It would have cleared most boundaries, to be fair. That hit was a big hit from Harmon, and well, lucky all the construction workers are taking a break at the moment. Can't see anybody about. It might be done for the day, actually. It's coming up. Just gone past 5:30. I don't know what.
I think they were done at 4, to be fair.
I don't know what the hours are in that particular industry, but I very much look forward to seeing their final product. Although in this game right now, Hampshire have taken control, and it's really Nancy Harmon's innings here that's almost single-handedly put them right back on course. There was a moment where they were stuttering when they lost that 5th wicket, but Harmon with some really powerful hitting, not just powerful hitting actually, just really astute gap finding. It's put her team in pole position here.
So we need a new ball, which is what the umpire's off doing. And obviously I'm assuming we're not going to see Rihanna Southby bat. So if they got another wicket, then it's in essence 7 down, isn't it? So absolutely wickets crucial here. Bit of a worry about Karis Paverley there. The physio was just walking across with her. I did notice after a bit of fielding earlier, she laid down and had a bit of a stretch. Looked a little bit uncomfortable around the hip, but she's going to carry on after that excellent last over. 138 for 5. That's in the air, but safe.
Yeah, she threw herself at one in the previous over, didn't she? Deep on the deep square leg boundary, and 10 out of 10 for effort. It's just like back in the day, you didn't want your big fast bowlers to throw themselves around the boundary, and you kind of want to wrap Karis Pavley in tinfoil at the moment.
I think if we put her in tinfoil out there today, she may roast. You mean cotton wool?
That's the one. I'm thinking about my dinner. Sorry.
139 for 5. Would you say that about tinfoil? I saw something on the telly this morning. Actually, they were suggesting. I'll tell you after this ball.
Oh,
that's pulled, and it's going to be 4. Excellent shot again from Harman, who moves on to 47 off 23 balls.
Game-changing innings. It really has been.
Well,
what were you watching on the telly?
Well, they were just saying that if you want to keep your house cool, cover your windows in tinfoil.
Yeah, but you look weird, don't you?
Of course you do. And that's why I couldn't believe they were actually suggesting it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, is it a needs-must situation? Because, like, you know, on my street, I went for my evening walk yesterday on my street where I live, and just, you know, all the windows were wide open. And I was kind of just thinking, like, I don't know. So that's a bit of a weird look in and of itself. All the windows being wide open.
As if where you live, you can see people with their windows open up their long drives. Don't be so silly. That would have been some of the staff in their little houses at the end of their drives that you'd have seen their windows open. That's another one to the total, 144 for 5. They're also saying that, this is what I thought was quite interesting, that the colour that you have painted inside on your exterior wall has an impact on the amount of heat it retains.
Yeah, so you want lighter colours, don't you?
Because I stupidly, in my living room, our exterior wall is all a black on one side.
No.
Yes, about 6 degrees more.
Oh,
that's a big shot. In the construction site again. Oh, it didn't quite make it. It's bounced back out, but it is 6. And that's Datani now getting on the act. She's just gone along really quietly, but on 14 off 12, and the 150's up and only 17 more required.
Yeah, they've taken control of this game now, Hampshire. That moment has passed for the Bears. Just some really quality striking, first from Nancy Harman, and now Naomi Datani joining in, as you say. 50 partnership.
Last of the over from Pavley is a dot ball. 12 from it. 17 required off 24 here. Harman is going at 200. You said her strike rate was 170 odd. She's eclipsing that today. Striking at 200. That partnership of 32 balls as well. It is a game-changing innings, this, isn't it?
Yeah, she's hit the ball so well, and you just have to admire it, really. She's picked the gaps. She's been opportunistic about targeting the short boundary when it was available to her, and taking advantage of some slightly nervy bowling. There's been a couple of good overs in there, a couple of good sort of sequences of deliveries, but just not consistently putting pressure on the Hampshire Hawks. What they really needed was a wicket in the last 3 or 4 overs, but like it's just more or less been taken away from the Bears here, are staring down the barrel of yet another defeat this season.
Well, they went from 90 for 3 to 97 for 5. And at that point, you thought, well, hang on, we're game on here. But here we are, 53 runs later. Amu Surin Kumar. Slower ball to start with to Harman, who will just get 1.
And now they can just sort of coast. They've earned this position. Meanwhile, I've got some news to bring you from the women's test match at Lord's. England have now bowled out India.
Oh, wow.
285.
How many did Izzy Wong get?
I can tell you, Izzy Wong bowled 12 overs, 2 for 41.
Very good.
It's very good indeed.
Who was the main wicket taker then?
It was shared mostly, but Sophie Eccleston is 3 for 68 from her 22.
Of course she does.
Quite the collapse from India, actually. They were 274 for 6 at one stage.
Taking lessons from the men's T20 side. 152 for 5.
Couldn't possibly comment. I haven't seen much of that. There's been a few things on. A lot of women's cricket, a lot of football.
It's been a bad few weeks, hasn't it? Not reaching the semi-finals of the Women's T20 World Cup.
Yeah, that too a day after
losing
the men's
to
team
Ireland,
lost to Ireland.
twice.
Both matches, first time ever.
Well, that's up in the air. That could be out. Emma that's under it and takes the catch, and Harman goes for 49 off of 26 balls. And it's 152 for 6, which in essence is 7 because of Southby's injury. So they still need 15, and they have got 3 more wickets to play with.
Well, she'll be annoyed with herself, well, Nancy Harmon, but she shouldn't be, really. That was a really game-changing innings from when she came in to when she's leaving. She's leaving her team almost at the finish line. Of course, she would have liked to have seen the game through all the way to the end, but she played some terrific shots. Again, looking to finish with a flourish. They don't want to take this into over number 20, but on that occasion, not getting enough on it, targeting probably the longest boundary on the ground today. Arlett's never going to make a mistake with that catch, and Suren Kumar picks up a wicket as well. It might just be a token one, but hey, we've seen funny things happen in the Blast. We've seen funny things happen here at EdgBLASTon. So if they're able to get another wicket quickly, really put the pressure on Hampshire, you never know. At the moment, though, you'd still, if I was manufacturing a win predictor for this, I'd have Hampshire at 90, maybe 95% after that dismissal.
The Blaze have beaten Somerset. Durham have lost to Essex. And at the moment, I think Yorkshire are going to get the better of Lancashire Thunder as well. Yorkshire set 1-6, so score 162. Thunder are 98 for 6 as things stand. Here's Suren Kumar. Slower ball, dot ball to the new batter, who is Tulloch. Poppy Tulloch. Good over this from Suren Kumar so far. 2 singles and a wicket.
Yeah, you watch an over like this and you think, oh, it would have been good to have this like just a couple of overs ago, just before the game was more or less taken away.
One more wicket now, and all of a sudden we're into territory that we didn't think we were going to. Slower ball again. It's almost a bit of a tip and run from Poppy Tulloch. Bit of French cricket. Go. I got told off for that once.
But France are quite good at cricket now, yeah.
Yeah, when I was running a single, I said go, and I was told by my cricket master, you must never say go because it sounds too much like no. Oh, okay, it's either yes or no, or maybe. Yes, no, maybe. I always find a maybe's dangerous.
What would your cricket master have thought of wait on?
Oof. Probably okay, actually. 1 more to the total. 4 off the over and a wicket for Amu Suren Kumar. 1 for 12 she's got from 2. 154 for 6, then 3 overs to go. And 13 required from those 18 balls. We need a monumental collapse.
We need a monumental collapse, but I can't let this pass. Cricket master. Did you have a cricket master, Aaron, at your school?
Well, no.
No, I didn't. We hardly played cricket, unfortunately.
Regina's often. Did you have a cricket master? No, okay. So how fancy was this school?
It wasn't fancy. He was just the cricket master person. Yeah.
Okay, no, most of us had a PE teacher that was the coach for everything.
No, he was just cricket.
Cricket master. Very good. I wish Sachin Tendulkar was teaching at my school. That would have been nice.
M. Arlett's back. 154 for 6. 13 to win. Off 18 balls.
You gotta go ultra attacking here. There's no other option.
Well, it's a big call, isn't it? Because Em had a really tough first 2 overs, but at the hands of Georgia Davis.
Yeah.
So you wonder how she can respond here.
Well, you want a nice attacking field for her as well. There's 2 fielders out in the deep. There's a deep backward point, deep extra cover, long off his back for the left-hander, mid on up inside the circle, deep mid-wicket in position as well. So it's sort of a hedging your bets type field. The singles are available. Be tempted to just stack the circle.
Slow, full toss outside the off stump. Gets them a single.
They can do it in singles. That's the problem for the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, how do you try and stop the singles?
You got to cut off those gaps. You're long on. You want them inside the circle, surely. Now let's see for the new batter, Poppy Tulloch. What have they gone with? Long on is still back, deep mid wicket, deep backward square leg, deep extra cover.
Mid off's inside the circle. So's fine leg and third. It's a slow Mooney type ball. Wild throw at the stumps from Mary Taylor.
I really like that delivery from Arlett because it can really throw batters. We see it happen all the time. Batters completely threw their shots and nearly made it work there because the ball sort of, not only did it hang in the air for a long time, it moved in the air as well, but Tulloch just did enough to get off strike and get Datani back facing.
Wide ball.
No room for that whatsoever. She'll be frustrated with that. I mean, you can sort of get a little insight into a plan, maybe trying to hit those wide lines, those wide Yorkers, get away from the hitting arc of the batter. You hear these things all the time, but with the field she had set, the batter just needs a thick outside edge. It'd go past short third inside the circle. And again, there's just an easy single available down to long off. The Bears just leaking at the moment, leaking easy runs. At this point, you gotta exert more pressure, as you say. There's 6 down, but effectively with Rihanna Southby unavailable, 7 down. You get another wicket here. We have a quiet over here. You're right back in the game. But you can't give away easy singles. You need your fielders in attacking positions inside the circle. As many of them as you can.
9 off of 15. Just encouraging Hannah Baker to come in 10 yards from the boundary edge at deep mid wicket. It's an inside edge from a slower ball outside off stump. Chases on. It's not going to get there. Phoebe Brett will cut it off, but it will still be 2. And it means the over has already yielded 6 runs. 7 required off of 14 for the Hawks to win and cement their place at the top of the table.
They have had a very impressive season in Hampshire, and they do thoroughly deserve their position at the top of the table. It's been very impressive stuff from them throughout.
Another slower ball, and it's another wide because the radar is off.
Just a tired looking delivery that from Arlett. Again, another slower, trying to take the pace off, but lost it in the arm action. But looking at Hampshire, you wouldn't want to bet against them on that finals day at the Oval.
Really good running. Good 2 to Hannah Baker.
It's a good decisive call that as well from Poppy Tulloch. Just yelled, yes, yes, come back for that second run.
Clear calling.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's it. No goes.
Cricket Master would have approved.
He would have approved. He would indeed.
163 for 6. 4 required then off of 13 balls. 1 boundary will do it here. Tulloch on strike. They'll just take the single. And we'll have 1 more over. 18 gone, 164 for 6. Datani on 18 from 17. Tulloch's on 7 from 6. And what you suspect will be the final over is going to be bowled by Amu Surenkumar from the far end.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? I think this will probably be it. But it's been a disappointing season, really, for the Bears.
Here comes an Surenkumar hat-trick just to...
Do you think so?
Finish in style.
I'd be very happy to see that happen, but it's just... it feels like it's been one of those seasons where there are a few near misses, but loads of opportunities missed by the Bears. I mean, both the men and the women didn't have the best starts, but they've really sort of capitulated. And there were some demoralising losses in there as well this season for the Bears, but a pretty good group of players to work with. We talked about the challenges of having to lose some of your players to international and semi-international duty.
Has allowed the likes of Amu Surenkumar, though, to come to the fore.
Yep, certainly has, and she has impressed at various times throughout the season.
Here she comes then. 3 to win off of 12 balls. There's the first of them. I keep noticing there's a very angry wasp trying to get in here, but can't get in.
It's outside the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, don't panic.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
I don't even think of Wasps when people say Wasp anymore. I think of the win and score predictor. The winning and score predictor.
Coming round the wicket. They need two. That's just going to be one. 166 for 6.
Yeah, they've been the better team to date. Hampshire, by far, I think it's fair to say. Been nice moments from the Bears. They recovered quite well, actually, to get to a decent score. I guess a batting lineup of this quality and depth is always going to be light.
Nice ball from Sudan Kumar. Cutter outside the off stump, slower. Full shot from Tulloch. I think what's interesting is this kind of score last season, they managed to squeeze and defend.
Yeah.
They've not managed to do it on 2 or 3 occasions this time round, and that's probably been where they've come up a little bit short. No run again. Suren Kumar keeps them waiting.
8 dots in a row, what do you think?
Just need the hat-trick now, and then we're good. Well, she can have 2. That would set us up for a grandstand finish.
Complete the hat-trick next season. Doesn't count, does it? No.
Well, would it count next time she bowls in 50 overs? Potentially.
No, different formats.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, there's one more blast game, isn't there? So, oh, is that last one? Ah, this is 12. Oh, okay. I thought they had an away game to play still.
They're playing a miss, though. This Suren Kumar, at least,
yeah.
if they're going down, she's going to go down putting in a good performance, isn't she?
Well, there's 3 of the many dot balls we require.
We require another 7.
And then we've got a tie on our hands.
And then we have a tie.
I think Tulloch's going to try and finish in style here. Last ball of the over, 2 off it. Suren Kumar. Cuts away, and it bursts through the hands of Chloe Brewer. Doesn't quite reach the ropes, but they'll just run the one that's needed. And it's a victory for the Hampshire Hawks then by 4 wickets in the end. Tulloch finishes on 9, Tatani on 19, and they've won it with an over to spare. I think they were just laughing about the fact it's literally stopped just before the boundary rope. So it's a victory for the Hampshire Hawks. They stay top of the table in the Vitality Blast, and it's a disappointing end to the campaign for the Bears women, who fought valiantly again, but in the end just coming up a little bit short, a couple of wickets shy of where they needed to be after posting that total of 166. So the Hawks win by 4. Here come the highlights of the innings, and Artif will guide you through those.
Yeah, it was just a really good start, really, from the guys. Actually, I was just keeping an eye on the ball in real time, which nobody's gone to get yet. I think finally someone's gone to retrace the ball. But yeah, back to that power play for Hampshire. They were just outstanding, really. Managed to take control of the game quite early doors. I mean, the Bears tried to stay with it. There was some nice bits of bowling, some attacking fielding, but it felt like they just slowly got more and more demoralised. This was a beautiful delivery right through the batter on that occasion. Just really good piece of bowling, and just a little bit of sloppiness there as well in the performance from the Bears today. It was just the way they fought back into the game to get themselves into a position where they had Hampshire 5 wickets down. Regina Suthazai back alongside me. Regina, that was disappointing from a Bears perspective, but I guess we have to say Hampshire were very, very impressive.
Yeah, like we said, it's good to see the depth in their order, and especially Nancy Harmon stepping up today and scoring some runs. I think that was really imperative for the innings, especially in the position they were in. I think, you know, the Bears had it at one point where if they kept that momentum up that they were getting wickets at, it could have potentially been really, really fatal for Hampshire. But of course, with the experience of Nancy Harmon, who has played a lot of cricket in this domestic setup, of course, it was Hampshire's day, and they continue to be a really strong force in this Blast tournament.
It was very impressive from Nancy Harmon. We talk about her. This was her 6th appearance in the Blast for Hampshire this season, comfortably her best performance. It was really telling in the end as well. There were some nice bits of bowling from the Bears. And, that wasn't one of them. That was one that went all the way for 6. But they did fight back into the game and bowled quite well. There we go. I mean, that was a full toss that picked up a wicket. It's just one of those things. Sometimes they fought their way into a position, but there was a phase of the game, Regina, for me, they just gave away too many boundaries, and for me, the field just wasn't attacking enough. It was the field of a team that's lost a sequence of close games, and they've sort of broken a little bit.
I agree, and I think if you look at that Bears innings, Hampshire were really tight in the field, and they kept it quite like a pressurised situation. A lot of the balls initially in the start of the innings for quite a lot of the girls, they were hitting just to fielders and they couldn't really quite get their gaps, and we talked about they had to make boundary options. It wasn't really an opportunity for them, but for Hampshire otherwise it seemed pretty easy for them to kind of find those gaps pretty simply, especially with Georgia Adams kind of building that momentum at the top, which probably Bears arguably didn't have until Katie George picked it up a little bit later on in their innings. But I think maybe there's a bit of questions over their bowling order. Could they have maybe included their spinners a bit earlier and kept them on a bit more, maybe kept their seamers kind of lower down, because I feel like their spinners did make that impact, but Hampshire just outplayed them today.
Yeah, they certainly did. It's not the result they wanted to finish the season with, but lots of positives to pick up from, and one of them, we'll see a little bit of her in just a second, Amusuran Kumar, just outstanding right to the end, bowling all those dots towards the end of the game as well, picked up a wicket, and she's looked good with bat and ball at different times this season. These are the things the Bears need to reflect on, the players that they want to build their team around next season.
And I think she's one to watch. I mean, she's been in that youth setup with England. We've seen her, and we've seen how far she's come along. And with the pressure of being a young player who, was involved in the 100 franchise last year, and as well, like you said, a key player of this very young Warwickshire 11, it'll be fascinating to see how well she does and how she grows up in the system, because I feel like she is definitely a player to watch.
That was the last ball of the game, and it was suitably anticlimactic. There you go, on the far right of your screen, you can see the ball. It didn't even get to the boundary sponge. It just sat there, sadly, in front of the boundary sponge, and until eventually somebody went to retrieve it. The batters were like, hang on, have we won? Have we definitely won? Because the ball's still there, nobody's going to get it. Do we keep running? No, you don't. You won the game. Very well played to Hampshire for winning this game by 4 wickets and 6 balls remaining in the end. It was quite a telling margin, but I think it's the Bears have plenty to take from this season. It was always going to be an uphill task today against an in-form Hampshire team we've talked about their huge sequence of wins, 7 wins in a row, 8 wins now in sequence. Looking ahead to that finals day at the Oval, this is the team to beat for me, Hampshire, and the Bears were never really in there. I mean, they do have things to reflect on. So obviously today, a new opening combination for them that they tried out. This is an area where they've been blighted a little bit. There's been Meg Austin up there. There's been, Davina Perrin was available for 1 match. Abby Freeborn's been their best batter, but not playing today. Then you had Georgia Redmond and Katie George today as well. They do have a very reasonable gripe that, a lot of their players, they couldn't build that consistency, that rhythm. That's important to a team's success as well, isn't it?
And it's disruptive when it's not there, and I think having that kind of team cohesion is the most important thing, and that's why probably the Hampshire squad does so well, because even when they're missing their England players, they play so much cricket together that there is that continuous cohesion. And I think Warwickshire, especially being quite a younger 11, it takes a lot out of you to ensure that you know how to gel perfectly, and I think having different opportunities and options, especially at the top of the order, is a good problem to have until sometimes it just doesn't quite click. But I think ultimately maybe even like 20 or 30 more runs on the board, that could have been a much closer game for the Bears and probably instilled a bit more confidence in them. We talked with Aaron about the dots, and unfortunately there was just too many dots or not enough boundaries, and I think that ultimately was the factors today. Yeah,
it was quite telling in the end, it has to be said. Warwickshire finishing the season 11 played, 8 losses, 3 wins, which is not good enough, but again, things to continue. So what I would say, 14 points from the season is not what you want, but I mean, when they're back in the dressing room and their captain's addressing them, the coaches addressing the team, how do you pick up a team after that?
I think you probably have to sit there and say to them that you know that this isn't their best cricket and you know that it can be better, but I think taking those positives and really working on them, like if you've got that key player, how do we build around them? How do we ensure that we can support each other the best? And I think ultimately, like looking to the season, obviously you're now going to look to the longer format of the game, but for next year they've got a really solid foundation to now build on, instead of it just being the continuous same sort of trajectory. It can go even higher.
Well, thank you so much for your thoughts, Regina Suthasai. It's been a pleasure having you with us today on Bears TV. My thanks to our whole broadcast team today. In fact, of course, we had Adam Bridge, Aaron Wiles, my name is Atif Nawaz. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, join our next stream in just over a half hour's time, which is going to be the men in action, the Bears men against Glamorgan, and the Bears can still qualify for those quarterfinals. If you want to know the maths, make sure you tune in just over half an hour's time. But from all of us here, congratulations to Hampshire, and we'll see you soon.